Intro. Today I'll be giving you all an update on iDubbbz once again. If you don't know who iDubbbz is and what all he has done, there's a series in the playlist section of my channel that you all can go check out. That goes into full detail of basically the start of his fall to now. It probably also goes into some beforehand context as well of what he used to do. There's also some other series as well that are in the playlist section that you can check out that go over some very interesting souls on the internet. But if you like videos like these, make sure to like and subscribe as I do videos on internet dramas, locales, and more. Make sure to also use YouTube's new hype feature, which is mobile only, by the way, as it helps get the video out there a lot more. Make sure to follow my Twitter, it's linked in the description below. I'm going to try to be a bit more active on there, and I've been recently talking and giving input on a certain situation that's gone on in the commentary community that maybe you all would be interested in, that I'm not going to make a video on. If I do, it would be, I don't know, you all can just look and see what I'm talking about. Let me know if you want a video on it, because I don't think there's much to say about it. Also, before the video starts, I want to talk about the main way that you can help me out. Dinokla, a OG gaming YouTuber, made a video on this, and basically the way to help me out the most is to, one, be clicking on the video, so thank you for being here, and to also watch the video all the way through. That is the prime ways of helping me and other creators. Usually whenever I watch a video, I watch it all the way through, not even just because of like, oh, just support the guy or whatever, but it's because I genuinely have interest in most of the videos I watch. So yes, to help me out, whether you come back later or whatever, there is timestamps so you can stop at whatever segment you need to. But yes, to help me out the most, Dinokla made a video on it. Clicking on the video and watching it all the way through, or watching as far as possible, helps out the video most. So please make sure to do that. That helps out more than anything else. But make sure to also like, subscribe, comment, and engage with this video as well. I just wanted to add that in here so you all know how to help me out the most. Come back to the video later if you need to, or whatever you have to do, but please make sure to watch the video all the way through and watch as long as possible. If you don't like Hassan's segments, skip them. There's timestamps for a reason. Yeah, that's all. Thank you so much, by the way. But with all that said,
boy, the captain's gonna earn his paycheck today. Let's go!
iDubbbz's new video. iDubbbz makes a new video titled, "Is Trump Trolling Secretly Based?" with a bunch of question marks. This video ended up not doing great, getting 151 views in a month of it being out, which is pretty bad, and a quarter or so of the amount of views he would usually get on his other videos around this time. Because usually his videos average over 400,000 views, you can check the last three, they average, 430, 440, 480,000 views. This video supposedly has a bad like to dislike ratio, like probably the other ones do as well, like you can expect, as someone said in the comments, and there's like some third-party extensions that you can put on your computer to test this, or like some sites that I just don't really know, nor care enough about to like go and check. The video, after a day of it being uploaded, only had 76,000 views, which is insane to think about considering iDubbbz's subscriber count and his usual average viewership. And while watching the video, I was considering not even showing the video at all because of the first 4 minutes, because it seemed very just as if that was all the video was about. I could have went over it real quick and summarized it, but after the 4-minute mark, it gets very interesting, and there's several topics of discussion that are very much noteworthy and also are talked about later on. But we're going to go through the video segment by segment, and let's start.
We can all relax and be at ease, and we're going to have a little fun. I have nothing else to do, so let's have a little fun, right? And we're going to have a little fun. And we're going to have a little fun. Have to have a little fun, don't you? Can sort of have a little fun.
The President of the United States likes to have a little bit of fun when he's doing it.
The President likes to have a little fun every now and then. He likes to share memes. He likes to share videos.
I think we're just going to people that are bringing into our country. I don't think there's anything going to get me in heaven, okay? I really don't. I think I'm not maybe heaven-bound.
This is not a dog shocking section. Do not make any claims that this is a dog shocking section. This is a dog shocking sectional. Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Are We Having a Little Fun or Are We Civilians? Maybe it's both. Maybe we're having a little fun, civilians.
Now there are no boats. I wonder why. I mean, to be honest, if I were a fisherman, I wouldn't want to go fishing.
A lot has happened since the last video I made about political trolling. In fact, in that video, Ted Cruz says that Trump is most likely trolling when it comes to making Canada a 51st state.
I think the president is basically trolling Canada. It was an epic troll.
But it turns out if you just ask the press secretary in the form of a hot or cold game, you can get a straight answer.
I was wondering if you'd indulge me in a quick round of Trump trolling or Trump truthing. Greenland joining America.
Definitely Trump truthing.
Becoming a 51st state.
Trump truthing all the way.
Is this the new meta for asking questions in the White House? We have to reframe things so that it doesn't seem like you're asking the hard questions. Here, let me slide back in my chair. So, in regards to your conversation with Netanyahu, was it pretty dang awesome or so bad you want to sock him?
Trump truthing all the way.
The main purpose in making this video is I just want to, again, highlight the incompatibilities of having serious public policy discussions with epic trolling and how they are not compatible. And with all the trolling and the memes and the obscuring the truth, it's becoming really hard for us to keep these politicians accountable. I want them to be suffering. I don't want them to be having a little bit of fun.
The president likes to have a little fun every now and then. He likes to share memes. He likes to share videos.
I'm a little bit torn with this first thing I want to talk about, and that is changing the name of the Department of Defense to the Department of War.
It's time to win again. The president announcing a proposed name change. Woke is being replaced by war.
I want to give the Trump administration a bunch of flack for being fiscally irresponsible, but I can't help but think that this is the perfect representation of the trans plight. I honestly don't think anyone says it better than Trump.
The Secretary Hicks has beautifully described the name change reflects far more than the shift in branding. It's really a historic reassertion of our purpose and our identity and our pride. That's when we go with the word war.
But beyond that, they now have to come up with the reasoning as to why they did a name change. The reasoning is, I'm going to be honest, it is pathetic.
So we won the First World War, we won the Second World War.
This country won every major war after that, to include World War I and World War II. We haven't won a major war since.
We won World War I, we won World War II, we won the World War I, World War II.
We won World War I and World War II.
We won the First World War, we won the Second World War, and then we decided to change the name.
Yeah, we totally won those wars because of our name. Couldn't be the allies that we had. Couldn't possibly be the firepower we had. Couldn't possibly be the millions of Americans that gave their lives to fight for the country. Couldn't possibly be any of those extremely realistic reasons. It's gotta be the name. I hate to break it to these guys, but dark woke can use the exact same brain-dead logic. Look at how many people have under the name Department of Defense. Look at all the people who, while it was Department of War. I vote Department of Defense. I don't want that many people dying.
He makes a Hassan reference joke, which some people say is the funniest thing he's done in a long time, which I agree, as, you know, it's actually like a halfway decent joke. But the thing is, it really wasn't that funny either. Like, you can just be like, oh, huh. It was nothing that would make me burst out laughing or catch me off guard. Although, like, overall, a joke like that kind of does catch you off guard. Since he makes a joke on Hassan, the guy that he has to, you know, get on his knees for every day. But as talked about in the video, he wants the government to be more serious. I think some jokes and just trying to be more lighthearted in a time where everyone is kind of miserable is fair. Especially in settings where it could be fine to do so, but I can also see why we should be scary and serious a lot of the times. But if we were that way all the time, then we would probably look like the other miserable countries that we always like to criticize and think are pretty evil to their people. When it's time to be serious, for sure, though, we can be serious. But till then, I don't see why some of these jokes, and just like, I don't think there's a lot of examples of these jokes, like how he tries to say in this entire video, but there's times to be definitely serious. But I don't think the situations he's pulling up are really that serious. I don't think anything he has shown in those minutes of that segment gave an idea of excusing behaviors, though. Especially whenever you show the press conference follow-ups asking if they are serious about certain topics that anyone would question in the first place, because, you know, a Canada state and other big ideas that people want to know about and thought might be serious and possible were really talked about in the news for a while. And these didn't even seem off as a joke. And in your evidence, there was no trolling issue. There was only truths whenever it was talked about. If there was a more serious situation and they were trolling, I could see this. Or if they were making jokes about something, yeah, sure. But he didn't show any cases of this, and I don't know if any myself, as I keep my head out of politics for the most part, but I feel like, as the creator iDubbbz tries to make political videos, then he should be showing the best and prime examples and not these lazy halfway done ones. And I think the name changes don't really matter that much. And this segment of the video is about, we should be more serious, but whenever they make the name the Department of War to be more serious and miserable, then you have a problem with it, which I don't get. And no matter the reasoning behind it, I think he tries to make a bigger deal than it really is. But these changes definitely shouldn't cost as much as they do. I think that was one of the most absurd parts and so much overcharging because it shouldn't cost millions of dollars to change a name or even a logo in certain instances, like these stores and stuff that barely change their logo but pay hundreds of millions of dollars to do it. I feel like those type of overchargings are stuff that Doge or someone should flag and stop immediately.
Now let's talk about the boats. They are saying that there are boats off the coast of Venezuela and Mexico, and they are sort of, I don't know, by my estimation, indiscriminately boats.
Tell us about this Venezuelan boat that was taken out, and do you plan to provide proof that these who are on their way to the U.S.?
Well, we have proof. All you have to do is look at the cargo that was, like, it's spattered all over the ocean. Big bags of and all over the place.
Oh, thank you so much for saying that the proof is a 480p video of what could be a bag of or could be someone's exploded head.
It was. Plus, we have recorded evidence that they were leaving. We've recorded them. It's very careful because we know you people would be after us. We're very careful.
Even that phrasing, we know you people would be after us. Yeah, it's the media. You're not allowed to indiscriminately bomb boats and say, we had a good feeling. We had a really good feeling that there were on it.
And General Kane showed me a little while ago the clip, but you could actually see it. But you don't have to see it because we have recorded proof and evidence.
I wonder if you could actually see it, or if he's saying that you could see it like you could see MS-13 spelled out on that guy's knuckles that he was deporting.
He had MS as clear as you can be, not interpreted.
I'd be willing to bet that this guy saw the same video that we saw of a ship getting blown to smithereens, and then the bloodthirsty general came over and was like, you see all this white stuff in the water? That's all there. Illegal criminal bones. I think the most telling part about this question is when Trump decides to ad-lib about the boats and how there were so many boats out there before and now there are no boats.
But we have noticed that there are no ships in the ocean anymore. We're seeing that there's like no ships, when the first one we went, there were hundreds of boats. Now there are no boats. I wonder why. Meaning no are coming across, probably stopping some fishermen too. I mean, to be honest, if I were a fisherman, I wouldn't want to go fishing. Just a nice, let's take a little trip, because I'd say, man, maybe they think I downstairs. I don't want that.
Like, he's admitting in this moment that everyone thinks that he them. Whether you have or don't have, whether you're doing something illegal or not illegal, people are still afraid that they will be. And he admits it right here by saying, if I was wanting to take a quick little boat ride, I wouldn't be doing that. Shouldn't they have nothing to worry about? I feel like long gone are the days when our fascist leaders would say, hey, if you haven't done anything illegal, you should have nothing to worry about.
If you didn't do anything wrong or illegal, there's nothing to worry about.
Okay, well, I guess we're doing that too. We're doing both. We're saying you should have nothing to worry about, but we're also saying you have everything to worry about. Or maybe we won't. Maybe we aren't. I don't know. See what happens. Go out in your fishing boat. Maybe you pull in too many fish. Maybe you pull in a fish that's too small, and maybe lights out.
If you didn't do anything wrong or illegal, there's nothing to worry about.
I would like to think that there are several measures taken before taking action against boats, looking at the names of the boats, identifications, symbols, what's on it, and radio warnings on frequencies they are supposed to be on. And with the tech that we have now, I'm sure that a lot of this is possible, because if you don't go through these measures, then of course there's a huge issue that could lead to conflicts with other countries. And I just don't think, hey, maybe the president doesn't really know everything, and maybe there was a better explanation but he just couldn't remember it. I don't know, maybe some military guy could explain it better than we or him could. And no, human remains and substances look completely different, so this entire viewpoint was really off and not correct at all. One scroll on Twitter could tell you what human remains look like after they've been blown to smithereens. The technology on cameras and such should be more advanced at this point, but isn't, depending on what they do. Sometimes they just use older equipment. I don't know why we only see people getting blown up in 4K whenever it's in Russia or Ukraine, but not here. I think the comment about the media is kind of overanalyzed, as it's just good to have proof of this stuff happening in general. I think that both, they want it for their own social medias or to prove a point or for archiving purposes. And also, of course, you want to be able to prove it to the media. It's always good to have context and proof. I feel like he overanalyzed that entire point that he was trying to make. And why is Ian acting like he is a knowledgeable expert on what camera views truly are showing? I feel like with the military technology, there are signs here and probably other views in other cameras, of course, or maybe other point of views of that camera or lenses, like infrared or whatever it may be, just an example, that show and identify the problem that they were having. And he tries to act like people are afraid to go through where this happened, or like they're afraid of the government because of this. It's not even being afraid as a civilian that you're going to get bombed, probably just that you don't want to be near criminal activities. I don't walk near the hood because I don't want to be near the danger. And if the hood is right there, then I want to walk around it. I want to go hang out somewhere else. And also, probably a lot more of those boats that were illegal are also stopping from going through there too now because of that fear. I don't think any civilian is truly in fear. They're oh, I'm not doing anything wrong, but there's still a possibility. I don't think that's the case. Especially if you're fishing or something of the sort.
In the past, bringing across the border means you're going to be tried, you're going to be potentially found guilty and imprisoned or deported or whatever. In this case, they don't want to deal with any of that icky human rights. They want to emphasize they're not human. If they're bringing across the border, don't think of it as poison, and then you won't ask as many questions when we turn them to dust.
That our young people stop of this terrible poison.
Organized cartels that are pumping poison, killer poison.
For illegal, poisonous, deadly thousands of Americans that could have been killed by that deadly poison, and we're not going to allow that deadly poison to come into our country.
Deadly poison, deadly poison, deadly poison. There's so many variations on the poison. There's the poison.
Poison.
There's a terrible poison.
Terrible poison.
And then there's the poison.
Poison.
Dude, we gotta kill people who are moving these parentheses poison. We gotta stop the serial poison. We have to nuke these boats off the coast because they're delivering poison into our country. You guys don't want poison in our country, aka never mind that our hospitals are distributing and getting people to poison.
They poison the American people.
If you try to poison our people, we will blow you out of existence.
They're bringing over something much worse in the form of deadly poison. That's why we them all.
This is another odd segment that has a lot of holes in it, because why should these criminals that have done these obviously terrible things causing a lot of deletion be allowed to keep on living? Although, if I want to take the Christian stance, it makes sense to arrest these people and, give them life sentences or whatever it may be, but the justice system is terrible and never does the correct things anymore to quickly sentence people, and all the loopholes and other issues, time and money wasted being one of them, that come along with these guys getting a trial. These actions also make criminals second guess or find lesser ways of getting this stuff around. And I wonder what Ian thinks of PDFs, because a lot of people think this exact way that I'm just talking about, PDFs should be gone in an instant, no trial or anything. and don't see them as human. The wood chippers, some people say, you know, they need to go in. And I wonder what iDubbbz thinks, like, you know, if we had the PDFs in this situation, do you think they should go through trial, or do you think they should be deleted or whatnot? Like, what do you think the punishment for PDF should be? I don't like how he's excusing degenerate action, because this causes such a huge amount of pain. They are people. They know better than to do this. That's why they do it the way they do, is because they know it's illegal, and they know that what they're doing is wrong. Also, how are substances like this not poison? Especially whenever you look, it is the poison of substances. Especially the one that is talked about in this video, I think, and some clips later on that I'll be showing. We're going to be calling it tall for the sake of this video's health. And don't get me wrong, I think that we need to stop all the other stuff from coming in as well, but tall has been an issue that has plagued users for a long time now. I think a decade or two at least, right? From what I've seen in articles. And iDubbbz does nitpicking a lot. And it's very annoying, it's very pathetic, and it's very just desperate for a point, because he makes jokes and talks about the smallest details in these videos, like how they call it like a different variation of poison, and basically is implying that everyone has to have the same wording of this poison to make Ian happy. It's weird to me that these people can't use similes at all because it makes iDubbbz upset. I just don't. It's another like nitpicking talking point that I'll talk about again in a moment, but you just watch the video and you're just thinking, what are you talking about? He basically is defending criminals in the distribution of tall and other and basically, you know, the poison. He tries to make the point of how it is put in hospitals and how some other medicines are addictive in hospitals. But then why would you want that out on the streets or defend people with malicious intent of like putting this out on the streets? Is Ian a user of this? Like, I'm very curious, because I don't know why anyone would defend these people unless they were a part of it somehow, or they were a user themselves. But since Ian wants to try to diminish the issue that is tall, let's talk about why it is a problem, and in case you don't know. Tall is a medicine used for severe pain, mainly given in hospitals, but can be prescribed in certain doses. Small ones, by the way, very small doses, because it's a super strong product. It can be put into any form, powder, liquid, and pill. It is easy to overuse and impossible to detect on your own due to it being odorless and tasteless. So you have to use tester devices to know if your choice of use is contaminated or not with it. This has become an issue lately because in the past decade or so, tall has been mixed in with other substances, including, you know, the green smoke at times due to cross-contamination. I don't know if it's ever on purpose, but I have heard of it being cross-contaminated on accident. But there is, you know, the possibility of people doing it on purpose. I don't see why not at this point. But the process of adding tall or maybe some other type of, you know, chemical into products is usually called cutting. But they cut products with tall to increase the profit, as it's cheaper to add this in and makes more like of the original product. You add this in and it makes the supply bigger, and it also creates a stronger and more addictive product. It is made in illegal labs and smuggled in from other countries. A lot of people have passed due to this being in products and them not knowing that they use. Ian thinks that these people who do this are not that big of an issue, even though it is a huge cost of passings. It seems like he just doesn't understand how this works and how it is dangerous at all. And it's just like you don't have no knowledge of anything. It's actually insane how mindless of an opinion this is, where you can't even agree that tall is a bad and dangerous product and how it should not be mixing into other stuff. And I do agree that, hey, a lot of people get hooked onto stuff, you know, after an injury or needing to take it for pain. Usually people get caught up in, you know, getting addicted to this stuff, and you know, maybe there needs to be a replacement for it or a new solution to fixing those issues with those like medicines. But to defend the people who bring it over and use the excuse that is being used in medical practice isn't the way to go, because these people don't have medical licenses, although they might know like, oh, we can only put this amount in. But I don't even think that's the case, because these people keep dying because they don't know that this stuff is laced or cut with this, you know, chemical. If you have any knowledge of this stuff at all, you can just do a simple Google search and research about, you know, tall in general. Then you would never defend it and definitely see it as a poison to an already bad habit and issue that we have, which is, you know, substances coming over. If you want to have an issue with both, then say that. But there's a clip that is shown from his stream that I'll be showing in a little bit that is absolutely disgusting and just seems more of like an anti-Trump type of deal. I know the title is basically anti-Trump for the video, but to this, like, I don't see how this at all correlates. There's a whole issue on Tall. What's the president got to do with it other than like, oh yeah, we're trying to fight against it? And why do you just hate that? It seems like you're so desperate just to hate.
Now I want to talk to you guys about a new epic sauce troller-in-chief that just showed up on the scene. That's right, Gavin Newsom.
Gavin Newsom's salty online trolling. Tell us about it.
So Gavin Newsom's trolling has broken through.
Thank goodness Gavin Newsom's trolling has finally broken through. That's what we've been needing, is more trolling.
Gavin Newsom was trolling me. He painted me as a little yellow minion with big glasses and overalls. He painted me like a minion. He painted me yellow with big glasses and overalls.
I will say a lot of the Democratic trolling falls a little flat because it seems like a lot of them don't believe in it. And I can't blame them. Like, how are you going to force them to be like, yeah, act like an idiot. Act like a monkey scooping eating it. Can you do that?
Democratic politicians are some of the least humorous people on the planet. They've always been so easy. When I was a Republican, it was always too easy. You're like, seriously, bring me somebody that's like tough to fight. No humor.
Shut the f up, Morning Joe. To suggest that debating public policy and debating issues is at all comparable to making jokes at other people's expense. We're not doing jokes. Yes, it's very easy to win at a game that no one else is playing. These Democrats were so easy when I was a Republican. I would call them gay. I'd say, you got something on your shirt, buddy. So easy. They were yapping about Social Security benefits going away. It's whatever. They were losing on the you got something on your shirt front. Democrats, they're so soft. Whenever I feel like Gavin Newsom doing his own trolling is lame as the rest of it, my hope is renewed because I will see a clip of Ben Shapiro being like, this isn't funny. This actually sucks.
After their bankruptcy and closure of every store, like most Americans, we thought Bed Bath & Beyond no longer existed. We wish them well in their efforts to become relevant again as they tried to open a second store. Just ridiculous. I mean, I'm sorry, just ridiculous. You were one of the factors leading to them having to close stores, and now you're celebrating that they're not opening stores in California.
What, Ben? Gavin's just trolling. What are you talking about? Why are you and moaning? If Trump did this, you'd be eating it up. You'd be deep-throating it. Come on, Ben Shapiro.
We live in both the dumbest and the funniest timeline. I gotta say, this is all of our life now. This is the business we have chosen. He said that he's praying for Trump, which is a hell of a day.
The big cheeseburger in the sky to come and rid us of this problem.
Literally praying for the death of the president. So that's solid stuff there on the Dean Obadiah show. But if the current Iranian regime is unable to make Iran great again, why wouldn't there be a regime change? MIGA. Now, again, President Trump, he's the best at this. When it comes to the trolling, he put out a tweet yesterday showing himself on Mount Rushmore. And I know he thinks he's trolling, but he just looks like a doofus. I mean, truly a doofus.
Ben doesn't like the Gavin Newsom tweets. Yes, Ben, it's partisan. You're only going to think it's funny if you dislike Trump, but you like Trump, so it will not be funny. It won't even approach funny to you. Now you know how we feel about the new norm.
This just seems like nitpicking in a lot of parts of this segment. If you want politicians to be more serious, then say that. I think that we shouldn't be fighting each other in the first place and should try to find some common ground of sorts and possibly just leave some topics alone and stop dealing with them if no one can agree on them. There's got to be some sort of way. I would say that, oh, we need to look good and, you know, be like more cordial with each other to look good to other countries, but they also have the same issues, so I don't, like, it doesn't really matter. I think everyone knows that, like, oh, all these other countries have issues within themselves of, like, arguing in the government positions and stuff, and even if it does go on Twitter, I'm pretty sure British people have it all the time. And I'm also confused because how is wishing the president death and some of these other examples equivalent to each other? And some of these just don't seem that serious. Like, a lot of the jokes and memes that were posted, like, I don't get it. But I guess he has a point of biasness in trolling, maybe? I don't know, not really. But Ian would also be biased in this way as well, so it's just hypocritical. Although he kind of calls out both sides for this, you know, it's just like, you're going to be hypocritical.
I think the most important idea I want to convey in this video is that a lot of commentators and politicians on the right, they are communicating in memes, they're making jokes about a lot of serious, deathly important topics that are life and for a lot of people, but it's not life for them.
Nobody could benefit from a nice fast more than the SNAP recipients.
President Trump said, "I love the smell of deportations in the morning. Chicago about to find out why it's called the Department of War." Okay, this is total trolling, obviously. He's not going to declare war on Chicago.
President of the United States over the weekend released a video of him pooping on the American people.
He is using satire to make a point.
So they can be jovial and act like it's not a big deal. And then when suddenly they see rhetoric that's violent on the left, or from people who are having their friends and family deported, stolen from their work, and sent to Alligator Alcatraz, you're going to have people getting serious.
Look, America is built on the idea of free speech. You have the right to protest it. But what they're doing right now is different. They are trying to incite violence. It's not funny. You don't mock a president who has already had 2 failed assassination attempts on his life. This is not a game.
Oh, no, you can't say that it's not a game now. When your guy, he is the inventor of the game. So no, you can't come out here and say, guys, this is serious. The poor little president has earshot, guys. This is serious business, not a game. It's like, okay, well, if it's not a game, you better talk to your guy. You better have a conversation with your guy, because he definitely thinks it's a game.
We're going to teach them how to run away from an alligator, okay? If they escape prison, how to run away. Don't run in a straight line. Run like this.
Now, this brings me to the alleged of Charlie Kirk. There were a lot of mainstream media people and politicians who were like bewildered of the profile of this guy. Like, what? He's white. He comes from Utah. He's in a loving family.
He comes from a normal household, raised Mormon. Parents are Republican. His father's in construction, and they live in a 6-bedroom home in Utah. A family member said he wasn't political until recently, when something snapped.
Oh, I get it now. He was indoctrinated by woke and furry woke trans. Makes sense.
Etched apparently on the bullets were all gamer and or trans oriented slogans. Notice his bulge, OWO, for example.
We know he wrote slogans that come from the trans community. He wrote about the bulge.
There's something called Furry Shades of Gay. You know that Discord app that they were chatting on, all those messages we found later? Is it a component of this? And what is it, by the way, Furry Shades of Gay?
The fact that the media and politicians are bewildered at the profile of Tyler Robinson just goes to show how out of touch everyone is. There are creatures like this all over the internet. They're apathetic. They don't give a. They are watching the same level of apathy being displayed from our politicians. The president of the United States is deporting people and then making memes about it. Like, are we really shocked that this guy would write ooh-woo? Notice his bulge on a bullet? This is very much par for the course. I'm surprised we didn't see something crazier. Just so no one is reading between the lines, my opinion on the matter is that political violence happens. Is that an endorsement? It is not. ICE kidnapping and people, going into people's place of work, holding SNAP benefits over people, and also blowing up boats. This is all political. It's very political, and it's very. But where's it coming from? It's coming from the top. And they're saying, yep, this is where political violence is A-okay. But if there's any violence going upstairs, anyone along that ladder to the top, if there's any political violence in that regard, oh, that's bad. Where's your humanity?
He stood in front of cameras and microphone and said, "We want the ICE agents to know you're not the only one with guns. You are threatening the lives of civil servants. You are embracing a culture of."
Meanwhile, everyone experiencing political violence on a systemic level, no. This is operating as it should. All right, everyone, that is going to do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to watch me stream, I stream 5 days a week on Twitch. I don't do it on YouTube. I may eventually. But right now, I'm probably on Twitch. If you're watching this video when it comes out, I'm over there on Twitch, and I'm talking my queen. I'm literally talking my queen.
And that about does it for me. So, Charlie Kirk, we'll never forget him. We'll always be learning from him, always. You can study his teachings and his writings for the rest of your life, and you'll never get to his level of intellect.
I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some...
I think the snap comment was pretty bad compared to some of these other examples used. I think that some of them can be seen as jokes easily, but could also see why they could be taken serious. Text is hard to tell sometimes, but I didn't see examples of, quote, the left memes he was talking about. And the examples he used weren't really violent either, or weren't really like, I don't know, I've seen way worse memes and examples on Twitter than what he's showing. Like, I've seen random Twitter accounts say a lot worse. But these, like, very, like, not really violent at all tweets are super bad, apparently. There's more moments in this video going over Ian where I just kind of get confused as to what he's even talking about. And a lot of people do the same thing. Like, they just, like, they just sit there and they're like, what is he talking about? Like, you'll see the comments like, what's this segment? Like, what's he even saying in this segment? He's just everywhere, saying nothing and a lot at the same time, you know what I mean? Like, he's saying so much, but none of it has any meaning or quality to it. And he says that due to, like, the president saying or making memes about deporting people, that this dude that, you know, did a very bad thing that had a lot of victims and included, you know, maybe an AR or two, that, yeah, he can make jokes as well, or tries to, like, equivalate them, but they're not equivalent at all. I just don't see what he's talking about. These two things seem so far apart, and I don't know why he's shown some random Steam play hours off of someone's account with no evidence of whose it was. I don't know if he was trying to say, like, oh, this is the guy's, you know, Steam account or whatever. I have no idea. I just think this was stupid. It wasn't funny either if he was attempting to be funny. He claims to not condone political violence, but he did in a way. The phrasing that he used was basically in supporting of it. Instead of, like, you know, saying something more clear like, it happens and I don't support it, or I think it is wrong in most cases, which is basically what he's saying there. He says that political violence is okay in some situations. And probably, you know, some of the stuff that, you know, Hassan agrees with. It was just such odd phrasing, and he wants to be Hassan so bad, and wants to be Hassan's friend so bad, that he can't disagree with political violence because of Hassan always promoting political violence. Some people resist arrest, and some agents will actually be rough on their own, and yeah, that's, like, you know, kind of valid in some point, but a lot of people do just simply resist arrest or run away or whatever it may be. So yeah, you're gonna get roughed up a little bit. Expect it whenever you commit a crime. The snap and boat stuff I don't see as political violence. I can see, like, you know, I think the snap situation was ridiculous and should have never happened in the first place. And I think a lot of these people, like, I saw a lot of memes online against it, but people just, they're going over the stereotypes. And probably, like, you know, of course, a huge issue with snap benefits and stuff of people just using them. I've seen plenty of people that, like, say a lot of random, like, buy a lot of random stuff with EBT. I know that they're not, like, exactly equivalent, but I see, like, plenty of, like, why does Popeyes have ABT available options? Like, no, you should only be able to use that at a store. But I don't really think, like, the SNAP benefits situation was really violent. I think it was ridiculous and disgusting, but I don't think it was violent. You know, like, if you want to make it hyperbole, then, yeah, you're going to say that, but that's basically what it was, is it was hyperbole. Even the ICE arrests are just laws that are being actually used for once and used to their fullest extent, or for not even their fullest extent, they're just being used more properly than they have been in the past. And some of those past political candidates that he would say he supports also did agree with, of course, the wall and, you know, stopping illegal immigration. They just never did anything about it. But of course, he speaks hyperbole here, and there's just terrible promo for his terrible Twitch streams at the end here. It was so lazy, and there was no, like, attempt or effort to really make his streams seem interesting, which they're not, but I mean, he could have at least tried halfway decent. But now we can go over some of the comments of his video. Where this video didn't do as good, there wasn't really many good comments at the top, but people are saying their comments were getting deleted as well, which I think is probably true, as there is just nothing really here in the comment section. But let's go ahead and look at it. Exotic Takios says, you can see the testosterone leaving his body with each word. This other guy, Big Pun Paula, says, bro, you gotta leave your wife. And that was basically it. He definitely deleted comments because there was nothing here. Even if the video didn't do that good, there still would have been some golden comments, which there just simply wasn't this time around. Overall, the video was flawed in a lot of ways, but he had some added on comments about it. The Discord is such a weird place and will be shown later in some other segment. But here's him and Anisa talking about it. It comes from Chip Kip Ling saying, someone in the Discord says, not trying to hate, but honestly kind of getting tired of the political and drama videos. A lot of it just feels uninspired and depressing to watch. Someone responds, and this is what I'm talking about with the Discord server, because it's just weirdly toxic and overly defending of him. But this person says, go watch Shane Dawkins. Don't bring that negativity into here. I'm sure iDubbbz gets spelled it wrong, by the way, gets plenty of that feedback on his YouTube comments and live streams. They respond saying, not trying to be negative, I just enjoy creative projects a lot more. And Anisa responds to the first comment that says, you know, of course, not trying to be rude, but she says, yeah, that's very fair. Just feels exhausting. It's okay to give feedback and it's appreciated. I think this is like an old picture of her too as her profile picture back when she had boobs, so I don't know why she hasn't updated that. But iDubbbz also responds saying, you're valid. It seems like a lot of others agree based on the performance of the video. So of course he's very like knowledgeable that he should kind of stop doing these videos, these same videos, because to be honest, yeah, they are kind of, there's no energy behind them. The drama ones are more interesting, you know. The drama ones, like about, you know, online dramas, internet content creator dramas, sure, those are cool. But the political ones are the ones that are very boring, depressing, and I think, you know, no matter what, whatever video iDubbbz makes, it's probably going to be depressing anyway because of the effort that's put into it, which is not a lot, and how, you know, not even just that, but just how they're not really funny or entertaining. No matter what, you're getting something depressing. But about content creators would be a little more interesting, at least. Next one I show from his Discord is a little bit of cope, but at the same time, it's also, like, not exactly true. He brings it up in a clip later on from stream. He says, it's variety. People just getting weird because I'm not obscuring it as much. That's not true at all. I feel like if anything, you were probably on the other side of the conversation back then, and you completely switched it. And also, okay, so before we go any further, he says, Content Cop Tana and others were very political. It was just obscured by a lot of surface-level drama. No, the difference is that these were about, like, you know, actual creators and stuff they were doing wrong. There might have been a little bit of a political, like, undertone maybe. But overall, your newer videos are completely political-based. And that's and also, like, you say a lot of, like, the wrong or weird opinions. So it's not just like, oh, well, my older videos are also political. No. They really weren't compared to what is now. There's also some clips from his stream talking about the video performances, and here's that. There's a lot of coping with it, a lot of kind of lying.
Elsewhere. Like, it is not, it's so bad, dude.
1,000 views in 4 hours on his main channel.
Oof. Give it time.
7 million. We used to be at 7 million. Listen, I'm not one to talk. I'm not one to point that out.
Yeah, it sucks. But, like, again, this is one of those things where, like, I don't even like to comment on it because it's like, it's legit cringe. If you're going to make fun of other people for their view counts, like, it's always going to come back to you. Like, it's not about, it shouldn't be about that. Either you like what you're putting out or you're ashamed of it. Like, I don't know what to tell you. What did Millhouse say? Millhouse eyebrows. He's hedonistic. Everything needs to be more, more, more. Well, yeah, I mean, that's why you get caught in the drama. You just, like, keep making it. Like, I didn't want to have a volley back and forth. Like, you can... What the... Thing glitching out? Oh, this is a pigeon. Rare pigeon found living at Alexandria's Union Station. This isn't the rare pigeon, I don't think, that costs a lot of money. But in any case, like, did a video about MrBeast's AI thumbnail maker, and it's funny. I didn't get a notification. I have alerts set on your channel. Oh, I see, Millhouse. Well, thank you. I mean, it's good to know. I mean, that's one of those things as well, right? Use it. It can cloud your judgment in some cases. Like, you know, I'm taking it with a grain of salt. You know, some people say things like they like and moan about it being political, and I said in the Discord, I'm like, dude, like a lot of the videos that people are watching and a lot of the things that people liked about my previous videos were the politics. I just obscured it by talking about surface level drama that made it not seem as political. It's like, oh yeah, this is just like making fun of this this blonde woman Tana for 20 minutes or however long the video was. And it's just like, no, that was like a comment on speech and what people should and shouldn't be saying. It's so obvious. Same thing with the Rice Gum one. I said that you shouldn't be focused. I didn't overtly say it, but the implication, the hidden message in it, which wasn't very hidden, was yes, like I went over, like I just themed it as like 7 deadly sins, and I was like, yes, like we shouldn't be flaunting wealth, like we shouldn't be making it rain on a random homeless guy, like we shouldn't be doing this. Like these are political messages. So when people come in and say it's so political, you're trying to do politics now, it's like, what, just by saying, like, just by being like less, just by essentially hand holding you before I wasn't being political, but now saying it like it is, that's suddenly political. It's like, chill out. A lot of people like your politics, but it's almost like they're ashamed to see it for what it is. They just want to act above it. Yeah, another good example of this, we don't even have to look at Content Cops, right? There are plenty of other videos that have a comment, that make comments on politics. A great example of that is the lottery video. The lottery video, I specifically say in that it is a regressive tax that punishes the poor. People love the lottery video. And it's because I think for a lot of people who are capitalism brained, it allowed them to not, to essentially think that it wasn't a critique of capitalism. But if you're calling it like a, you know, essentially a regressive tax, I still play the lottery video after that. Yeah. There's so many comments that you can, there's so much that you can pull from a video like that, but because I'm being a little bit more silly goofy and I'm pointing at things that are a little bit more absurd, it allows you to be, what is that term? Where you're withholding, someone's going to say in the chat, fill in the blank, say my words for me, chat. Cognitive dissonance. Thank you. My wife said it. Wait, people think you weren't being political in your past videos? I don't think they think that. I think that because it's politics that are very in their face now, it hurts to hear, right? Because you can have a political thing being spat in your face, but as long as you're using words that don't immediately trigger people, like saying words like fascism, that immediately puts people on the, oh, we're talking politics. But when you rephrase that as something else, like maybe if I said like authoritarianism or evil guy, it wouldn't immediately register as like, oh, this is partisan politics. So, you know, I may employ that going forward in more of my videos, just so people, you know, can listen to the substance rather than being like, you said the word misogyny, I'm out. By the way, guys, this was another treat that I got from the store. Me out of the facial hair game because I don't have the lumberjackest hair in the world. But I will have you know I grow a mean soul patch. and a pretty mean Hitler stash in the winter.
Can we?
This is what I'm talking about. The needless, like the insecure little edginess is so, like, it does not age well. I grow a mean stash in the winter.
Create the
Area. Will it shave my hair? Because I got some hair that's growing out the base. It's not all the way, like, to the head. But I got some Yeah, gross guy. Gross guy wants to talk about hair. It's kind of creeping like a plague up the shaft. Is winning. I will say it is good, I think, for me to watch some of these because it's been so long that I can kind of identify what people related to or identified with, and like a lot of the funny that ages the best is me just being goofy rather than trying to do the yucky boy jokes. I wish you did more Kickstarter crap. It was hilarious to watch after I came back from school. Maybe I'll bring back Kickstarter crap. I feel like it's a good... There might be something there. Bald lady. Isn't that weird? But she regrew her hair like mad. You can do the same thing. You decide to buy the magical hair regrowth serum for $20. You use it on yourself. What realize point that it am I doesn't work, making? and you want to return it. You realize returning it costs $10 shipping and handling, so you say, even though it doesn't work, I'll just keep the gay hair serum just so that I could say that I got value out of it and I won't be down $10. You see, Kickstarter is very similar, but instead of having a return policy, they have a you policy. You gave me money because you're... Oh, you want to spend $159 on a razor? Well, they definitely got their money back. Yes. Oh, it doesn't work? Well, guess what? You just signed away $159 on a stranger's promise that they'll deliver some gay razor that doesn't work. Oh, have flexible funding, right? We love money. Ugh, man. It's getting worse the longer I watch it. I just solidified my next YouTube video, so it is going to be coming out. That's probably going to be what I'm working on for the rest of today. Share it with you guys when I'm through more of it. It's a little bit different. Oh, by the way, guys, I discovered my last video, my Trump based or something like that, that video didn't perform very well, and it kind of depressed me a bit. I'm like, okay, I need to rethink some things. I still rethought some things, so I'm still interpreting it as like a lesson. I went back and I realized that the video was demonetized like 5 or 6 hours into uploading it. And then the views just dropped. And so it's just been sitting unmonetized for however long. I want to say that probably had something to do with it. I mean, when you look at the graph, the analytics for it, it's basically doing this, and then it like hits a point, and then it goes just straight down. And I'm like, oh. So that may have had something to do with it, but I'm going to pretend that was a message for me to just do a different type of video, which I was kind of planning on doing anyway. Now, you know how the politics YouTubers feel? Dude, yes. It was because I was talking about a lot of people saying that I was like justifying, I don't know, like views. There's so much. That's a lot of people's criticism of that video. Is they're like, oh, so like now you're saying that what was it? Good? And I'm like, yeah, that's the message of the video. So yeah, kind of funny. Also, I was just talking about a lot of. So I can see that being one of the reasons it got demonetized as well.
Try to poison our people, we will you out of existence.
They're not like he's like, I know the trick. He's really trying to make it sound like you poison our people. It's like, yeah, when it's framed as if it's poison, it's like, oh, okay. You know, there's a lot of Americans who are like, oh, he's protecting me. He's protecting me. What a strong alpha brave defender of Americans. But then when you realize that he's just describing, like, obviously people, but it's not like unique, uniquely distributed from people off the coast of Venezuela. I think a lot of them are also just in the Caribbean as well. The whole thing is bad. But yeah, you frame it as poison instead of, it's like, okay, I wouldn't want to be poisoned. And they're doing all these like projections as well. They're like, oh yeah, for every boat blown up, that's saving 50,000 American lives. It's like, shut the fuck up. Painkillers in hospital, yes, exactly. Painkillers in hospital equals medicine. Painkillers out of hospital equals poison.
I think this isn't very true. His videos back then didn't seem political, or at least weren't a lot of time, like I said earlier. Maybe small comments here and there, of course, like how I said with the undertones. But overall, his older videos were more about entertainment, comedy, creativity, and criticism of other content creators whenever they were in the wrong, or if they were just maybe slightly weird. But him criticizing his old videos and not trying to appreciate the actual funniness of them, or not appreciate them really at all, is actually sad and kind of terrible in a way. Because it's like hating the only good parts of yourself and then, you know, overriding all the bad parts of yourself to be the main things now. It's just weird because everyone looks back at these videos and laughs and has fun. I even giggled looking at, like, just watching the clips while he was watching them. But then he goes on to be like, like anytime he saw something of him doing anything edgy, he would do this overreaction of like, oh, like he just had like a physical weird reaction to him saying something that was edgy. And that was so corny of him to do. Ian said he is working on another video, but this was 2 weeks ago. In one of these clips, he talks about how he's working on another video, and this was about 2 to 3 weeks ago from the time of this video releasing. And keep in mind, him complaining and talking about the performance of the videos is so weird, and just him being an idiot because he's been told why they don't do good or why they fall, been criticized and told what to actually do to make these videos better. They criticize his opinions, the editing style. Like, people have done whole breakdowns, I have, of why these videos don't do good, and he still doesn't listen. That's the problem, is that he's not taking criticism. It's like that meme going around right now on Twitter where it's like, I think it's a message between a fan and Yandere Dev, where it's like, criticism can be good, and he says, I don't think so. Like, you might as well put iDubbbz's face right there. And on top of all the other criticisms we have of the actual uploads, the videos that I show and I'm breaking down that have this not really great quality are uploaded every other month, basically, or every 2 months he'll upload. But yes, he plans on uploading another video soon. And like, how do you expect to really succeed whenever you're uploading every other month or every 2 months or every few months a political video that has not a lot of love and care in it, and it's just mainly a depressing watch? People aren't going to watch that. He's going to upload another video soon. People guess it's another political video, even though people criticize that, and he himself said that he was kind of going a different direction, possibly, due to his recent performance of videos and such. Maybe the last clip is just cope, but who really knows? Ian streaming. Ian, of course, has been streaming recently, and with his streaming comes more cringe moments. It seems like there's a lot of repetitive things that happen in these streams as well, as someone made a bingo card of all the stuff in the clip I'm going to be showing, and it gives you an idea of his streams.
There's something that I do not... I wish I understood, like, mosh pits, or, like, just the freaking out, kind of, like, trying to hit people thing, like, but not actually, like, you're not... I don't get... I know it's, like, there is, like, this weird... It's a little bit of a performance, it's a little bit of a release, without necessarily being like specific with your confrontation. I know that there's like a reason people do it. I just don't fully get it. You seem like a mosh pit person. I do not get it at all. Because it feels like it feels so dangerous, especially with people who are not like, who don't understand their feelings. And I feel like that's a lot of people. And I feel like there's so many people who probably could do this with some not so great intentions and do a spinning windmill back fist into the back of your head and put you down. There's a very thin line between fighting and dancing. maybe since you've been in actual fights, you don't feel the perverse need to performatively lash out at folks. I don't know. That's what I'm saying, Mudfoot. It like because I do feel like it's flirting with the idea of fighting and conflict. Like maybe it would be good, a good like segue into doing a combat sport or doing anything that's very like physical. Because it like opens the door a little bit. Men will do anything but hug. That's what I'm saying. Is like I don't know. I get wrestling. I get wrestling with your boys. It's a little bit like it's hard to do like a good wrestling with your boys in public. That's hard to do. I will say I've wrestled with my boys in public as adults, and like it helps. It helps for you to both be secure and not be losers. Sorry, we were talking about Fiona. But yeah, if I was in a mosh pit, this is what I'd want to do. Am I Husk now? Like you got to cover your head? You got to be down low and throw overhands constantly. The defensive mosher, I'm not here to get knocked out. No, it's not about hurting others. You're missing out. Oh, man. It's what Ian said. Wait. It's about opening up to others, being open to getting pushed and shoved and slammed by your loved ones to the heavy tones of a sick beat. I think you're right. I think my brain is kind of going into capitalism mode, if that makes sense. Right. Right.
I thought that I was a dumb.
Yeah. That's what I was going to get to. Anisa just said, like, stoic. People police the mosh pit. The community polices the mosh pit. And if someone is being weird, they're taken out of the mosh pit. Like, I forget that there is this element of, like, community. And I'm thinking of it as, like, no, this is, like, the free market. And if someone can get away with taking someone out with a rogue fist because they don't go to therapy and they really need to, like, they have a bunch of demons, like, they're going to do that. But I'm like, no, if you're going to a concert already, like, you're part of a community, this is, like, a good place, people who are around you, and you're not looking to hospitalize them. And I think sometimes I forget that is the point and the purpose, and which is why this, like, dangerous thing is, like, okay, is because it is a safe place. Like, I'm not going to do a mosh pit at a show where I don't feel like I'm, like, the culture is good or the community's good. Have I been behaving, Mr. Dubbs?
His layout, by the way, for his streams is absolutely horrendous. I have no idea why he does this, but in OBS, he moves, like, his monitor, like what he's looking at on screen, he moves that into the most weird positions where half, like, of the screen is cut out and there's so much empty space, and he crops it in just such a weird way. And I don't understand why. Like, what is he hiding? Why does he do this? It doesn't make his stuff look better. And he does this all the time in several videos. Maybe he did need that ADHD medicine, because why are you sitting there and constantly moving around the screen for no reason? Or maybe he's just playing into the ADHD bit more. And speaking of that, he added a new soundboard and stuff to his stream, but all the references and all the sound bites for the stream on that soundboard are not funny at all, and here's that.
A few more sound effects to my stream deck. I need to actually program some OBS action so I can switch scenes with it. But we have...
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
It's a little loud. We also have...
Death to all of them.
Shout out Wendy Williams. We also have...
Clap if you care.
I like that one a lot. Clap if you care. And then we also have...
Clap if you think she should suffer.
Clap if you think she should suffer. That one has a little bit...
Why are you gay? Why are you gay? Why are you gay?
I'm gonna be asking that. I'm gonna be pounding that every time a member of the LGBTQ plus army shows up on my screen.
Why are you gay? Why are you gay?
There was some other weird opinions and cringe moments, and here they are.
Edgelord to woke. All the edgelords will hate you, and many woke will still harbor resentment against you. Yeah, I've seen some of that. To be honest, McBot Bull. I've said this once. I'll say it again now. The most woke people who are like clutching their pearls and being offended by slurs or whatever else you would consider woke are actually people on the right online who are pretending they're cosplaying as a leftist. They're cosplaying as a blue hair. So, you know, talking to actual people who are progressive, even slightly, none of them are that way. If they're real people and you can have a real conversation with them and you can admit, like, yeah, you know, saying slurs is just totally, it's not needed, it's uncalled for, and it's not cool. They're not going to pin you down. They're not going to pin you down and say, all right, what else? Tell me what else you're guilty of. They're not going to do that. They're normal people who just want you to acknowledge that humanity doesn't need that. It's only going to be these people who are like role-playing, cosplaying, fast track, right? Like, I'm gaining an appreciation for children even though I do not have children. The way I'm doing that, and the way it becomes a lot less creepy and more authentic, is by actually interacting with kids, showing up to a family gathering, going to a daycare, being around children, because that's your life and you aren't just held up in your basement. You're not having interactions with real people. Your friends or your network of people isn't just, you know, 5 other dudes who are in their 30s who also are doing the exact same thing. They're holed up in their basement. They're not interacting with anyone. They're not having kids. It makes all of that way harder. What did Tyler do in the past? Just a bunch of edgy stuff. I mean, the one we just saw was him kind of saying it's okay for white people to say the N-word, and just a bunch of random. He sold some merchandise that was racist. The topic is basically just I mean, this is strayed a little bit from the main topic, but they're sort of acknowledging that Tyler was sort of leveraging this like young, edgy, apathetic white audience, and he was saying the things that I think in a lot of cases that they wanted to hear, so that he, you know, would get benefit from it. And, you know, in a lot of cases, he wasn't the one who was suffering in this case, right? Like, you know, think about all of the other people that were listening to this. You know, he's on Larry King of all places. You know, he's at the top of his game. And then he's saying that. Are y'all mad at Hassan for not standing up for you more? I don't know. I don't think Hassan has any obligation to do anything. He's got his own to worry about. You should ask Hassan if he's mad at me for making electrocution dog jokes. Probably say no. What? Who gives a... So why the would I be mad at Turkish iDubbbz? He's holding it down for all the Turkish people. Oh, I was also thinking, I don't think it'll be a subathon, but we were considering doing like a charity stream, specifically something to benefit homeless people, and or just like, to be honest, like we haven't really figured out what the angle is, but like people struggling, like with like food banks going low and stuff like that. Oh, cool. Yeah, I like that. But we're just trying to figure out what the details should be. Oh no, that's sad. A glimmer of hope for Ian. Ugh, why does it show me? Get this out of it. Doesn't even Give me an option to say not interested. That's so gross. Ugh. It's not people also watch. People are watching 2 times Pimpy aren't watching this. I think we should respond to a lot of these ban appeals with, like, genuinely, if you, like, upload your face or you record a video of yourself, like, doing a good deed, we will actually unban you. They need to jump through, like, several hoops. The foot fungi have arrived. Fucking ban them. Ban those losers. I wish I could do something more than banning. Banning's not enough. We gotta virtually stomp them out. Would the antonym be a sincere compliment or a sincere insult? Yeah, I guess I don't really know fully how antonyms work. I'm constructing additional wings of the sus / ban prison. So we are going to be, I'll be revealing it soon, and maybe that's where we can look at, like, pathetic ban appeals. It's under the Denny's, right? Like, our jail is under the Denny's. So hopefully I can put together, like, a cool animation that drags us. It won't be a Big Bang Theory animation. Or maybe it will be. Transition, I mean. Losers hate seeing a white boy mature. That's true, because they see themselves and they're like, oh no, I can't imagine living that life. I need to justify my own existence by continuing to be a hateful piece. Pedo idiot made another dumb story. He seems to be in psychosis. Yes, he is. Hallucinating anti-Semitism, general psychosis, and obsession, and a bit of psychosis as well. It's crazy how often it comes back to stuff with that guy. Even when no one's talking about stuff, he'll bring it there.
All this does is help the capitalists accumulate more wealth. Oops, so sorry. Every video lately has turned into a Marxist criticism, but yeah, here we are. Your obsession with policing the health of everyone around you only reinforces the narrative that individuals are solely to blame if they fall outside the...
Yeah, that's a perfect way of describing it. I think she's saying all the things that need to be said if you, like... if you can pay attention to it. I'm realizing in watching this video and even the Z-Way one, it doesn't engage me, I think, in the same way. Which I'm trying to find the balance, because a lot of you guys are in, like, how do I describe it? A lot of you guys are big thinkers. You like using your old noggin. I guess I do too, but, like, I need it to be chopped up, man. I need it to be chopped. I need some, like, I need some headlines. You know what I mean? And some buzzword. Well, I don't need buzzwords. I need sound bites. Give me some pictures in the book. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got to hit me with some pictures now and again to really, like, you know, communicate the issue. I think we sometimes forget the social dynamics of, like, going into a tattoo artist's shop. You are in their domain. And if you have someone confident enough to ruin your body with a tattoo gun, like you might just be bullied into a tattoo and pressured into a tattoo that you don't even want. And if you're a people pleaser, or if you're scared, or if you can't say no, or you need to go to therapy, like, it's just gonna get put on you. Sorry. You gotta learn to say no. You're trying to confirm your biases. Zoe, I think there's a difference between... I need to be careful here. This is a moment where I need to be careful. Well, yeah, I am. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, you're right. You're right. But that's not always wrong to confirm your biases. I just confirmed the bias, and I determined that there's a little bit more nuance to it. And the nuance is, oh, that's why I'm having a problem with it, is he's being... No, that's a little bit wrong. Because everyone's a little bit more performative in their commentary videos than what they would be like on a podcast. All right. Don't fight with the mods. The mods, I don't even have control over any of them. So if they want to frickin' snipe you or put you in like a little dungeon box or craft some little box out of paper to put you into, they're allowed to do that. We give them full reign. But it is under my command. So, just remember that. So be nice to me. 2 favorite foods. First of all, my name's Kyle. Secondly, my 2 favorite foods in the world are frog eye salad and cheesy bacon pretzel dogs. So good, dude. So good. I would die for a cheesy bacon pretzel dog. I would put something up my ass for a cheesy bacon pretzel dog. I'd put the cheesy bacon pretzel dog up my ass and then I'd eat it. So good.
Pleasure.
Not cool?
Hardly. Hearts. Hope.
Bart.
Strangulate.
Cringe.
Angel.
My name's Jeff.
Tree. Cuddles. Decapitation.
Fish sticks.
Coffee. Game.
Alibaba.
Apple.
Timu.
Monkey.
Jeff.
Banana.
Sandwich.
Genocide.
Gaza.
Kangaroo.
It's a word association game, I guess. Is this like the most kind of hetero type of game out there? There's just like no whimsy in this at all. Not that there needs to be, you know. War is dangerous. War is brutal. It's a generic dude game for sure.
Frick, I might have lost them.
Like, okay, how about this? Okay, how about we remake the entirety of Escape from Tarkov, right? But the players can have sex. So you're going through the game, you're like crawling around, and you have like 3D voice chat, and you hear a couple of dudes over there in the building next to you, and they're what's up? Yeah. Yeah. I saw that the other day. So lame. I need you to understand the negatives of what you're saying. What are the negatives? I think that'd be funny. I mean, it doesn't have to be super overt, but like maybe just any sort of tomfoolery. I'm gonna not say that because I'm afraid like live stream
for 8
fails
years
is
now,
gonna
man.
shit. Like, I can't live
what
my
is
life
going
that way.
on?
Afraid of live stream fails. Like that's like, let's also put it.
Chat, what do Hassan orbiters chat look like? Like answering an interrogation at the police station or whatever when they're on stream. What is it like? Look like they're being questioned, like by the you know what I mean?
This way. Oh, you know what I need? I forgot to take my Addy. I'll be right back.
saying that some of your haters are fake leftists was so weird. Like, you can't even take criticism from any side because you're going to make yourself believe that everyone that criticizes you is a fake whatever. Oh, they're not really a leftist. They don't really agree with me. They're actually a part of the right, and they're playing a like disguise. Like, what? And I'm also wondering why Ian is at a daycare while he doesn't have kids. I thought that was really weird. I don't know. In one of the clips, he gets on the Tyler, the Creator, a black music artist, for saying that whites can say the N-word. But in a clip later on, he has one of his songs playing while on stream, and it's titled Massa, which to me seems like two hypocritical moments here. And also, like, why are you trying to tell a black dude what he can and can't do? Like, is that not just weird to me? These guys are really moralists. I was thinking this while I was remembering this clip and stuff. These guys are super moralists. They only, like, they sit on whatever opinion helps them in that exact moment. And, like, you can see in so many of these clips and such later on that you're like, well, aren't you supposed to agree with this? Aren't you supposed to, like, you know, like Tyler, the Creator, for the example, are you supposed to, like, allow him to be able to be like, oh yeah, I don't care if whites say the N-word, but because you don't agree with that, you are going to try to force him to have your opinion. You're going to try to force, as the white dude, this black guy to have your opinion, which is kind of weird, right? Seems completely against what, you know, they would usually be a part of. But like I said, Anisa, Hassan, all these other people, you would think that they have these other opinions or these, like, certain opinions, but they don't, and they only use those opinions whenever it can benefit them. They sit on whatever until it sinks, or if it doesn't help them, they claw into the next thing. It's super weird. He also plans to do a charity stream or a subathon, but for homeless people is what it's going towards. I think it should have went towards food banks or animals, like I always say, but if you're going to try to help the people, then he should have done it for food banks instead of just straight up homeless people. And Anisa, of course, comes in to add on, which is another thing I'm going to be talking about later, as she always is in there, but they have failed at a charity event several times now and are not trustworthy at all because, like, they try to take 30 some odd % from the charity, right? Or they try to take a good percentage from the charity, and they said that they were going to donate it themselves, which that's hard to believe. Why not just put it in there for, you know, not yourself? But they have to stop with all this. They have to stop with these, like, oh, we're doing another charity thing, especially whenever we're going to get into later. They might be broke. They might actually be broke. You need to help yourself before you help others. And it was funny seeing him whine about a video made on him because he saw, like, someone's video about him in his own feed. Also, to force people to show their face online to get unbanned from his chat is a super weird thing to say or do. That's like the digital ID thing, which is already a controversial thing. But, like, what do you... It's so weird. It is so... That was such a strange thing to say. Yeah, show me your face to get unbanned from my chat. And I think as well, whenever you're banned from someone... or blocked from someone's chat or on general from their Twitch, you can't even watch their stream, which I think is weird. You might be able to, I don't know. I don't know how those rules work, but I've seen spots where, oh, this person got banned from this chat, and now they can't even watch the stream and they can't chat at all, which I think is weird. You should at least be able to watch them. It would help the creator, especially if you're able to run ads on a guy that can't do like a sub of any sort. Perfect. And then to also say that these guys need to be, quote, virtually stomped out or more than that because a ban from your chat isn't enough for you over not agreeing with you as well was so strange as well. Like, there's some really weird and sketchy opinions here that need to be kind of talked about and called out because what do you mean, like, you want these people virtually stomped out because they don't agree with you? So you want, like, 99% of the internet to not exist, basically. That's, like, over opinions as well and over them criticizing you, which you don't listen to and wonder why you fail. You want to be in your own echo chamber, which is another thing that the Reddit has been talking about recently, is that he's basically in an echo chamber of his own. But Ian has been banning other YouTubers and streamers from both his chat and his Patreon without them doing anything in his chat or Patreon, which is insane as well. There was, I think I've shown examples before, like a person subscribing to him on Twitch just so they wouldn't have to deal with ads, and he ends up getting banned. And you'll see another case later on of someone not saying anything, didn't ever plan on saying anything in his chat, or at least nothing like malicious, and they get banned anyway, just because they followed him, which is insane. He also seems to have an openly small attention span, as he says himself in like one of the clips. Whenever he's watching a video, he was like, oh, there needs to be more to this. And I think that's a bad problem now, and I get wanting videos to not be bland, but most of the time it's a whole ADHD thing or a bad problem that has happened since, you know, TikTok and YouTube Shorts. Or maybe Ian is just trying to play the ADHD card, but either way, this is a super bad mindset to have. And I kind of hate, I don't know if you all ever do this, but if you all ever watch someone else's videos, which I hope you're not watching someone else's videos, you should only be watching mine if if you want to get the real truth and the real opinion. But I'll often watch these other YouTubers, and whenever they overly edit their videos, I kind of get grossed out. I kind of get like, you're overcompensating for something. You know what I mean? That's how I always feel. Is that like, ugh, why are they adding all this? Like, also like the, you know, the little click noise, like the little like camera shutter or whatever. Like they add that for like several different times, or like a small little sound effect. I don't like that stuff. I don't like that stuff at all. I don't like boring videos, but I don't like these overly edited ones. Those seem like slop. I hate saying that word too, but those, like the quality of those videos seems to overcompensate so much that it does like a negative effect towards it. His mods calling him out was also an interesting touch as well that you don't really expect. And in some of these clips, and I'll bring it up again I think later on, you're going to see some examples of him really just yapping. And I mean that by like full definition of like saying nothing really. He's saying a lot, but saying nothing of quality. Like, he's saying full sentences, but they don't really make sense, or they're just like, you know, like there's nothing to them. And there's a lot of times, I think even in that video, like I talked about, where I'm just kind of sitting there and I'm like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Like, what's the point of this? And I feel like even with only getting clips, there's still no context even without the clip, I feel, most of the time. But him not having control of his own Twitch mods was another thing to add in here that I thought was just kind of weird. He's also like, he contradicts himself in that same exact clip. He's like, I have no control over the Twitch mods, but they do whatever I say under my command, which doesn't make sense at all. But does this dude just not have control over anything? He's controlled by Anisa, who's controlled by Hassan, and he's like secondary controlled by Hassan. And he can't have control of his Twitch chat, and the only times he does, he's like overly banning people, and like, you know, has this like weird echo chamber. So he's completely stuck. He has no control anywhere he goes. He's completely stuck. He needs some control, man. But XQC makes a good point that all of these Hassan orbiters look, sound, and act the exact same way. They all have these fake mannerisms and speech things where they try to be so quiet but also aggressive at the same time, but also seem to be taken hostage. Like, I just don't get it at all. I don't get like the hype of being a Hassan orbiter, especially with some of the news that comes out later in this video. And it's not even just the Hassan part, it's a whole other part that is very important, so make sure to look out for that. And that one clip of him calling his Adderall medicine Addy was super cringe. I mean, it was also disgusting in a way as well. And if I was about to give him his prescription and he says, I'm here for my Addy, I'm refusing to serve you. I might even call the police, because why are you doing that? Why are you talking that way? That wasn't cool or funny or creative. That was just disgusting, and you're acting like you don't use those for the right reasons. You know what I mean? And he doesn't want to call tall poison, but take something that is like literally close to pure, like the pure blue substance in Breaking Bad. You know what I mean? Like, it's super close to those type of things. And, you know, but he wants to take that and praise it. And also, we've seen what this medicine does, and people are able to overuse this medicine as well, not for like a deletion, not like a deletion type of way, but just like for their mind and stuff. And people are predicting that Ian is one of these people that are probably overusing their Adderall prescription, or don't need it in the first place, and are completely dead brain because of it. It's an interesting thing to think about, and I wonder if like long-term use, they also said like substances in general, which I don't know about that, but if he's openly taking, you know, Adderall, then I don't know, maybe he's drinking as well. What is going on with him to act this way? to act so slow and everything else. That dude probably just definitely doesn't need to be on it, I think, because if he's acting this way on it, then he shouldn't have been on it in the first place, or he has too high of a dose. Anisa. Anisa has a whole section of her own for this video, as she's just been watching the streams in another room, and whenever she wants to add on or comment, she runs into the stream to say, like, something into the microphone. Most of the time, it's just cringe attempts of trying to be funny, or just adding her opinion about whatever, and this was talked about in my last video a little bit, but it was nowhere near as obvious as it is now, as multiple clips are coming out of her doing this. And as you know, she doesn't have a job, she doesn't stream herself or make videos, she doesn't really do anything but sit there and bake and go on Twitter, and then also sell her body online. But, like, I just think this is so weird that she sits there just to watch over his streams the entire time, and to run in there and comment. And, I mean, she's always done this, like, to, like, comment, like, whether it's through Discord, she would also see these absurd comments of, like, him pooping himself and stuff like that. I don't know, there's just so much to... It's just in a non-good way, I feel.
Quit being mean to me on Instagram.
I don't know if that's gonna work. Maybe that'll work. You needed to furrow your brow a little bit more. No. Yeah, that's the move. That's intimidation.
Like, there's people that can do this in a sweet manner, but it just doesn't seem the case here at all. She is apparently getting an autism assessment test, and I'm guessing it's so she could put it in her Twitter bio and use it as a label on herself and to be able to make excuses for herself as well, and terrible jokes about it, and like, oh, that's just the autism in me, that's just autism, oh, that's just the autism in me, guys, ha ha ha, autism in bio, I don't know, it's something stupid.
I didn't. I'll tell them now. Chat, big news. Anisa's starting her autism assessment pretty soon. I'll tell you a story around it. Last night, she got like an email about it, and in her full Snape outfit, she like announced it to the room. We were all like chilling, watching the Blue Jays versus the Dodgers. She even put on some goofy witch hat. She had her wand in hand, and she said, "Good news, everyone. I forget how she phrased it, but she phrased it in like a pretty not autistic, let me rephrase that, childlike or like goofy kind of way." And I was like, this is like a weird scene out of a sitcom, like announcing, like it wasn't like a diagnosis or anything, but announcing that that you're booked for something, authentic and dorky, yeah, that you're booked for something while you're dressed in the most dorky outfit ever, the most unserious outfit ever. And she was happy about it as well. I think that the contrast of her being happy about it while having the very serious like Snape makeup on was like, what the?
He also called the news coverage of farmers in America having a breakthrough with soybean production, so they could, you know, of course, make it domestically instead of getting it from other countries. He calls it propaganda. And then Anisa comes in and makes a like really cringy joke as well, as she's just been doing recently.
Become a lasting solution for millions of American soybean farmers.
We don't need China. We have plenty of uses here in the U.S.
Then college freshman Baker Keel says he was working in the lab.
This is propaganda. What?
Oh, I just thought of a really good idea. We should shove the soybeans in.
Oh, that can make. Oh, now we have a use because I'm horny and I need something up there.
Yep.
Wait a minute, that's a good idea, bro. We can shove them up and then poop them out. Well, if we poop them out, we'll look like goats. It'd be like good for goat cosplay. They'll be pouring out of our as we walk around. That's actually a good idea. Wait, we actually don't even need China anymore. That's so brilliant. We can just shove soybeans.
We shove soybeans up, and then we make rare minerals out of it for computers, chips, and army stuff. Because like you know how you process rare material with aluminum, but we don't need that because we shove it up our own.
And diamonds. I can crunch it. I have a friend who's got a really tight sphincter. He can crush things into diamonds, high pressure style. But the vibe I'm getting so far is that, what is News Nation? News Nation. especially with these thumbnails. Let's go to most popular, and we'll get an idea. UFO whistleblower, UFO hearing, non-humans in backyard. What? News Nation Gamer Galaxy? What is this? Drone sightings, UFO. So this is a UFO channel. Dude, we are brain dead.
How could you get offended over soybeans? And just like this stuff in general, like, why are you so spazzed out or so freaked out over this at all? There's nothing to be mad about. There's no even concern, or it doesn't affect you at all. It probably helps us more, even helps the country. But they don't want that. They don't care at all. There's now even concern for her pets, as she admitted to giving her dog cheese, which is something they, or at least people around them, have criticized H3H3 for doing in the past. And here's that clip.
Actually give her the anti-nausea and like a piece of cheese. And when she puked, the cheese, it had been like 6 hours and the cheese was still whole. So something wasn't working. No, not cheese. We do now give it with peanut butter.
They also have now a pet snake for whatever reason, and it's apparently an unethically bred snake. Subject-Armadillo457 says, Anisa's new bipolar disorder crash-out pet is the most unethically bred snake on the market. Spider ball pythons are bred for their patterns, but suffer a permanent irreversible neurological condition from birth that makes their quality of life horrible. Herps, people in the reptile community, literally identify ignorant collectors by the breeds they keep, and the spider ball pythons are the biggest red flag. Influencers in the reptile space have been canceled for supporting the breeding of them because it's so unnecessary and upsetting. These snakes have very little control over their bodies and movement, and typically have an extremely shortened lifespan and suffer from myriad other issues stemming from the disorder. Only human condition I can think to compare it is to Parkinson's, but it's a little different. I'm so floored. How do you get the pet you've always, quote, wanted and not do the basic research? Insane. This animal is going to suffer because she was manic. White people, peace emoji, kissing emoji. And that's actually insane if true. And why don't they get in trouble? Why don't they get canceled for this? Especially if people in the reptile community are. Why are they not getting backlash for doing this? That's incredibly insane. If so, that they're participating in the breeding of a terrible snake. Well, not a terrible snake, but a snake that sadly has to sit there and suffer. And that, yeah, of course, you all know me. I don't like animals suffering at all. I'm heavily against it. So on top of everything else now, you know, we got, you know, terrible owners, pet owners, or the supporter of terribly bred snakes. And it's so sad to think that that snake has some issue. And of course, these people who are supposedly broke, we'll get more into later, and also are mentally ill, which has already been proven several times, have this snake now and probably don't know how to properly take care of it. And it's just so sad to think about. The last clip I'll show here is so bad in a few ways, and here it is.
I think it would be interesting to have the inverse of that. I don't know if you could pull it off though. I think Anisa could do it. If you bring a bunch of loser dudes in a little round table.
Why would Ian want this? She has breakdowns on Twitter all the time over the smallest thing. If she had to do in-person confrontations, she would have a breakdown and not be able to properly respond. If you hate her, you would hope that you could get this to happen for her. But I would love to see it. You know what? Yeah, let's set it up. Let's set up a bunch of contractors. Let's do a Twitter space or something. It doesn't even have to be in person. Let's do a little phone call, you know, whether it's on Twitter space where, you know, people that don't support you can come up and battle your opinions and battle your all's behaviors. And just watch Anisa, because it's going to be amazing. There's going to be a 4-hour-long video just on that one segment. That whole interaction right there is enough for a video of its own, because of how bad she's going to react and freak out to it in the days after. And also, if you all want to deal with like contractors and stuff, Ian or Anisa, or maybe both, should debate H3 as just a warm-up and for the embarrassment and for, you know, they really need the attention. So why not? Ian's Discord and toxic fan base. Ian's Discord was talked about a bit recently by several people on the Reddit, and the Twitch chat could also be included in this conversation as well because they act the exact same way. But here's a drama that happened in their Discord, and this was a big deal, by the way. Something so small. Chip Kip Ling, who I've shown several posts from recently, also posted about this, saying apparently now it's creepy and weird for people to ask about Joji or Max, Ian's biggest collaborations. They just poop all over this guy asking a simple question about Joji. iDubbbz says, I do read the Discord, and I only respond to people who are epic sauce. And then this guy says, do you still talk to Joji? And then this other person says, if he had $1 for every time someone asked that question, he would never have to work again. This person says, I mean, can you blame me, especially with how drastically different paths both of them took after Cancer Crew? Why does it matter? You expect him to also go into a professional music career? That's such a weird thing to say. What would, like, they just make any point they want. That's so, like, this is what people like Ian and Anisa do, and their community does it as well, where they just pull stuff right out of their, like, back end, because what are you talking about? Like, he's just curious of, like, if he still talks to Joji or Filthy Frank, and, like, you know, he wasn't saying go down a music career or whatever. But anyway, another person that's a part of the community says, people constantly pester him about his relationship with Joji, Max, and Chad, and it's low-key weird as frick. Like, who he talks to on a personal level isn't really our business, and if he hadn't mentioned anything up until now, why would he start today? Ha 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 ha. Like, these people are so weird and dogpile on anyone. And apparently, Ian has also been banning, as you can see at the bottom of this Reddit post, it says, Ian has also been banning people from Twitch chat for asking about Max Mofo lately, which if you don't know, Max Mofo, of course, was a part of the Cancer Crew, and Ian actually didn't show up to Max's wedding, which was a huge deal, and it's not really talked about enough. That, you know, he didn't show up to their wedding. I thought that was very odd. Normal-ad-3468 says Ian needs to figure his stuff out. This person on their Discord says, to my knowledge, it's not that he's not interested, it's just obviously Ian needs to figure his stuff out before he steps into a collaborative type of video in the future. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. And Anisa responds saying, this is what has been expressed to me. So it seems like, you know, Ian needs to figure his stuff out, apparently. This was basically their response to the whole Joji thing. And, yeah, I think it's interesting. Apparently, Ian is also self-aware in a way, which makes me wonder what the next video is, because if he's self-aware and he knows that he needs to kind of stop doing as much or not to do, like, the political content, then what is next for him? What video is he going to make next, especially if he's now saying that I'm not even going to collab with anyone until I figure out how to, like, do better online? I think that's very interesting. Also, another addition to this, lopsided GRL, which I'm guessing they mean girl, and it's a message from a bot, and it says, due to many requests, we've made a team decision to private the majority of the server. For now, new users will only be able to access to general chat. You must rank up to unlock the rest of the server, which means you have to talk a lot and stuff like that. Read server info for more information, and let the staff team know if you're a regular and having issues. Thanks. All over people asking if he talked to Joji still, in this whole small drama that happened where this guy was just curious. It's not bad to be curious, especially with, like, people he used to talk to and doesn't really anymore. I think Ian had a video with Max and Chad a year ago or two. Like, it's fine to ask, especially Joji, because Joji's been out of this circle for a long time doing his own thing. Like, this was so unnecessary. It was blown way out of proportions. But guys have been so weirdly offended by everything that people say in there. Like, in the Twitch chat, they get overly offended and easily offended. And now, in the Discord, they're also getting overly and easily offended. Like, what can you even talk about in the chat or Discord? Like, what's the average conversation between these miserable people? Because you literally say one wrong thing and they all get onto you. He literally has the fan base that he used to make fun of. Banned from Ian's Discord. If you don't know, on Ian's description on YouTube, you can also go through the links and stuff like that as well, because you can link your socials, like your Twitter, Instagram, and all that. Ian had his Discord server linked for Maximum Damage, which I'm guessing you don't have to be a member to join the Maximum Damage thing, because usually if you have a Patreon or whatever, you have to join, like you have to be a part of the Patreon then join a Discord server, but this wasn't the case. And I don't even know how many members the Discord has. I think it has less than 2,000, if that tells you anything. But I joined the Discord at 8:35 p.m. I looked through all of its rules and stuff, do all the like extra nonsense they make you do before you look at general chat. And then I accepted all of that. And within 4 minutes, I got banned. But before I got banned, like I say in my last clip, or my last section, this was basically a sequel to the Discord thing. I asked him, like, what they even talk about? Well, I didn't scroll once. I didn't scroll once at all in the Discord server, and I see this. It's someone talking about, I'm glad the new Stranger Things season sucked because I hate that one actor. And they're talking about Noah Schnapp, as you can see by this person also responding to that comment. This person says real stuff. Season 3 was okay, or was just okay. Season 4 was butt. I didn't even watch Season 5. But all that Zionist stuff with Noah Schnapp definitely reinforced my decision not to even watch it, lol. There's only 5 seasons. But also, like, the new season isn't even that bad. I think the other season, it's a good prequel to this one and stuff like that. I don't know why they're spazzing so much about this. And I wrote up my tweet because I clipped this. I was going to make a tweet just saying, just enjoy the season. Because I guess this person wasn't really a fan of Stranger Things, but I feel like no matter what, like, it's the last season of a very, like, popular show, a very popular show, just to say the least. And I feel like you should be able to give it a try, but just because this one actor, who, don't get me wrong, I don't think Noah Schnapp's that great of an actor, but we'll see what happens in later on this season. I didn't like his character anyway, and Lucas. Like, the beginning Lucas, I didn't really like at all, but I'm liking him more this season. But there's, like, so much to talk about with Stranger Things, but I just think that it's so cringe that the reason this person isn't watching is because of one actor's views on stuff and because they're public about it. And I do think that, I don't know about his opinion. I don't really care about all that. I do think it's cringe just to be political in general. You know what I mean? I think it's very cringe to be political as, like, an actor and stuff. Although you have the ability to say what you think and all that, and, maybe you should at certain points. It was, like, something about being a Zionist and stuff, or something about Zionism, and that's, looked down upon. I don't really know what all this stuff means. I don't really care. So I just stay away from all of it. I don't think they're supremacists or whatever. I think that's what Zionism means. So, no, I guess I'm against that. But even if I do agree with you, sometimes I'm like, man, can you just, like, keep that away? Because people want to watch stuff for, of course, entertainment and stuff. But I just thought it was funny that I didn't even scroll, actually. I didn't scroll once at all, and I already see this miserable conversation of people hating on something. And it's just a TV show over this one person's viewpoint and stuff like that. Just because a bunch of actors or whatever supported Biden didn't mean I wasn't going to watch the movie. You know what I mean? Like, whatever movie they were in. You know what I mean? Nicolas Cage can go out there and say whatever. Nicolas Cage could say he hates white people, and I'm still watching his next movie. That's the same with Ye, too. Like, they can say they hate me and everything about me, and I'd be like, well, I love all your stuff, man. I'm just going to keep watching. You know what I mean? And I guess that's how I feel about this show as well, is that I really like this show. There's so much to love and appreciate about it. But I just thought it was funny because I was like, oh, I wonder what they even talk about. And I look and see what they talk about, and it's just a miserable conversation. Immediately. And that's the people that iDubbbz wants to be around. A bunch of people who only sit there and solely hate on stuff, and if they like anything, it's actually just degenerate. You know what I mean? I wonder what it feels like to have, like, basically an audience that most likely goons to your girlfriend. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a whole circle jerk, and Anisa's in the middle of it. I don't know how else to put it, but I think it's just very interesting that, I was kind of right. And I don't know if anyone's in the Discord that's snooping around, because some people are snooping around in the Discord for the Reddit. How is it? Is it just like this and even worse at times, which I'm guessing is the case? But are they ever, like, happy about valid things? Like, I don't know. Oh, this actor. Oh, man, I really like the new season of an actual good show that isn't very political or political at all. Like Stranger Things. It's not really political, I would say. I don't know. But I just thought this would be an interesting segment to bring in. I thought while editing, I was like, man, I should really just check it out. Or maybe I'll check it out for the next video. But this literally happened so fast, I couldn't even, I couldn't do anything. You have to wait 10 minutes to talk in the chat, by the way. I didn't say anything. I never planned on saying anything. And I got banned. I'm just like the rest of the people on iDubbbz's blacklist. Now, to be fair, my, description on my Discord is I talk on YouTube. Because that's what it is on, that's what it is on Twitter. And, maybe they just quickly looked it up or something. But they were quick with it. Because within 4 minutes, I'm banned. Within 4 minutes, and I can't accept the invite. So I wasn't kicked. I wasn't timed out, because if I was timed out, I just wouldn't be able to talk. I got the ban hammer. I wish it was more specific. I didn't get the ban hammer. I went to go accept it. It didn't give me no timeout or anything. It just said, whoops, it looks like you can't join. So just let me know in the comments down below. Did I get banned for sure or what? Because I was writing up the tweet that said just enjoy the show. Because I feel like you should. You should just enjoy the show and appreciate the final season. And while I'm writing it up, my Discord just moves a little bit. And I realize, well, their icon ain't there no more. So, yeah, but I just thought that'd be interesting to add on to the next segment. iDubbbz begging for money. Ian has been recently begging for subscriptions on Twitch to get a better revenue split. I talked about this in my last video on Twitch, that the more subs you get, the better revenue split you will get. He's probably on the 50-50 split, which means that you get 50% of the money that you get from a Twitch sub, which if there's $6, it's, $3, I think the base is $5.99, $6, so he gets $3 from every one of them. But he is trying to get the 7/30 split, but you have to hit certain requirements, like, popularity, like a bigger subscription count, stuff like that, which he might have to get to 2,000 or 1,800 subs for a consistent amount of time. So he has been sitting on stream on several different occasions and begging for subscriptions.
Convert their primes into a tier 1, or actually better yet, if you... Yeah, we're at 256 points, so we only need, what is that, 44 more? So, if you're a dedicated stream watcher, if you do a tier 3, tier 2 sub, that counts for more points than just the standard. And then you don't have to remember to renew it. I know we always forget to cancel or renew, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, we only need it for this month. Because you need to hit it 3 months in a row. So this month is it's the final month. Just end up getting it. It doesn't really matter what comes after. I could fall off a cliff right after. Doesn't matter. Oh, Han did the tier 3. Thank you, Han. Thank you for the tier 3. What happens if you get the 3-month streak? It's just a better split on Twitch. But it's permanent. I think it's permanent. Also, for the record, guys, I am trying to get that 300 sub goal for the month. So, if you're right there, if you're on the precipice, let this be a good day. We're in the middle of the month. I have 13 days to go. We're getting real close. We're over halfway. I think it's what is it? 180 something. If we can get to 200 this stream, that'd be great. Does gifted count? I'm not sure. That's a good question. 189, that's what we're at. Gifted counts? Okay, good. It'll get easier with time. We just need to get to that threshold 3 months in a row. And then hopefully I can put out a video, put out something good that keeps me above the threshold, so I don't have to bother people about it. Gifted doesn't count from what I read. Well, hey, it counts to me. It counts for me. I'm myself. What I meant to say was the only ones that count are the recurring paid subscriptions. So typically, what I should be saying for people is convert your Prime to a regular subscription. And send your Prime to someone who is less deserving, but still you want their benefits. Like a good example of this, Denims. She doesn't need your Prime, or she does need your Prime. I need your regular subscription. Hopefully that makes sense. Hassan? Hassan, that's another great example. Doesn't need your regular subscription. He needs your Prime. Turkish iDubbbz? Yeah. It's sad, but what are you going to do? I just got to up my game. Oh, my patrons are about to drop off a cliff. At least the normal up. Oh, thank you, Scarbo, for continuing the gift sub. What does Denny patrons mean in the corner? Oh, it dropped. That's just how many subscribers we currently have. Mummy Dad 6. And we are trying to hit 300 for the month, or 300 channel points. We're getting closer. We're over halfway there. We just need more regular subscribers. Non-Prime subscribers, basically. Thank you so much for providing me with your Prime. I love Bezos bucks. But for this month, I prefer regular dollars even more.
Keep in mind this dude used to be on top of the internet and now has to beg for subscriptions to get a better revenue split, which I think is sad and pathetic. I always thought it was scummy to do this type of stuff in the first place, to beg for subs and everything else, but people are now comparing him to DSP, which, if you don't know, is a guy I might make a video on in the future. Let me know if you all want that, but he's basically a beggar in every sense as well, where, you know, for him to do anything, you have to donate. But this type of behavior, to me, as Ian would put it, is so, quote, gross. But seriously, though, it is disgusting, and I've always not liked this behavior. There's several other people that do it as well, like Wings of Redemption. These are just people that sit there and, like, you beg for subscriptions. Although he isn't holding his streams hostage or anything, he's still sitting there and begging for them instead of letting them come naturally. As shown in one of the clips, supposedly gifted subscriptions don't count towards the goal, and this caused him to be ungrateful for people who gave them over. He makes money from all the subscription types, by the way, whether it's a Prime sub where you have Amazon Prime, you're allowed to gift someone a sub for free on your end, but it still gives them money. That gives him money, but he's still complaining. He doesn't care about the gifted subs. He only cares about the actual ones and describes it as actual money or actual subs whenever it isn't a, like, Prime or a gifted, which is so weird to me. And I think even if he hits this goal once, he probably has to consistently hit it afterwards to keep the split. So even if he gets it, he'll probably just lose it within a month or two. He responds to people saying that he is begging by saying this.
Renegade said, saw you get some hate online for begging for subs. Any thoughts or comments? I mean, they're going to interpret it as begging for subs. It's like really easy to clip multiple hour-long streams and make it seem like I'm desperate. I'd like to hit the points, but I'm not gonna not say that because I'm afraid like live stream fails is gonna clip. Like, I can't live my life that way, afraid of live stream fails. Like, that. Like, let's also put it this way. If I was doing a call to action like everyone else does, if I do it in a video, I could sit there and tinker with it all day long, how non-live streamers do, which is, all right, let me find the perfect amount of saying just enough to not seem desperate, but just enough so that it's an actual call to action and informing the audience. Like, that's the downside of streaming, is because you're just spewing for hours at a time on stream. Like, it sucks. Well, it sucks for that. You can be really like strategic if you're making a video. Like, I've made videos, obviously, mostly what I'm known for. You can make videos and curtail it exactly to be the perfect fence riding, say just enough but not too much. You know, you could send it to people, even be like, Am I coming across too desperate here? Like, who cares?
The problem is that he does seem to be begging, and he is begging. And in his response, it shows more of his pilled out state of mind, as he's just, look at him, dude. It's so sad. His Twitch streams are failing too, as pointed out by the Reddit, as they point out his recent stats on the Twitch tracker, and let's go over that. We have posts from like a month ago to more recent, so let's go over them. This person, Chip Kipling, says, it's grim, breakdown below. Did a little calculating so far this month. He's making an average of around $12.34 an hour with streaming. Even worse rate of subs than last month. I got a feeling he's going to give up streaming pretty soon. He has no actual topics or segments. Just reviewing some random TikToks and YouTube videos. There's no passion. It's just not worth the time for the payout. Too bad there's a few fans who bought multi-month subscriptions in advance. Sending money to a guy who doesn't stay consistent with anything he does. Max Damage Patreon is also dying. They haven't stayed consistent at all with their promised weekly uploads, and they clearly have no interest in it. I didn't even know this as well, but I guess their Patreon has also recently been inactive as well. And I wonder if he will give up streaming soon, especially if he doesn't get this, 70-30 split, or if it continues to do bad. $12.34 an hour is pretty bad, and also he doesn't stream that much. He doesn't stream that many hours a week. I think on my Twitch tracker, it said like 30 hours streamed. That's still not a lot. So, like, most of you all out there are probably making more than iDubbbz makes hourly streaming. I hope that makes you feel better. I really hope it does, because that is ridiculous. I don't know if he's running ads or how often he does. Maybe with his view count. I heard running ads gets you a lot of money, though. And I could see him definitely in the future probably running an absurd amount of ads. And that's the problem with Twitch, though, as well, is that he's not going to be able to keep viewers around for long if he does run ads, because they play like double-digit amount of ads, 8, 6 at a time. So he's not going to be able to keep viewers for long at all. And you can see here that back in September, this was during, I think, one of his dramas, and that's the only reason why he had this many subs. But it's gone down from, 1,500 down to, in November, there being 198, which I think has gone up a little bit since then, but it hasn't passed the 800 mark. And a lot of it is people just not even, like, new subscriptions. It's just people resubscribing. And he went from making, like, $4,000 a month to now making $500 a month off of, Twitch, or at least the subscriptions. And also, wasn't he, like, begging for tier 3 subs or something? Which is disgusting. That's such a disgusting idea to give someone a tier 3 subscription. There's no one that deserves that, I feel. Like, not even my favorite YouTuber deserves a tier 3. Like, I don't know. I don't get that type of mentality at all. Even, like, I've never understood giving people money. I have, like, of course, a little tip jar or thanks jar or whatever it is, the thanks button. I don't even promote it. I forget about it half the time. But, like, I don't expect people to do it. I'm not going to be begging for it. Unless dude, if I'm begging for it, then I absolutely need it. Like, just so you know. But this guy's also, like, made his own mistakes and ruined his own career, and then is now begging for money, is the worst part. Glorp says, a graphical comparison of average viewership between Ian and the H3 podcast, which he claims is failing hard right now. Although you look at the H3's podcast Social Blade and they're still, like, consistently losing subscribers every month, look at the view difference, because they are averaging, I can't even see the number, but they're averaging, like, I saw one of their recent Twitch streams and it had 11,000 views. I don't know how long they were on for. Maybe it was, like, right at the beginning. But having, that's, like, still several, like, his average viewers right now are 173. That's actually insane. He has like 1% of Ethan's viewership streaming wise, and Ethan has way more support and everything. But anyway, sufficient_fix9266 says, go give Denims your Prime. I need real paid subscriptions. That is disgusting to say. That is so gross. I need real paid subscriptions. I get that you want this goal or whatever, but that's such disgusting behavior that you're given, like, a Prime subscription, which they can only give to one streamer a month, and all this other stuff, and you're complaining. You're complaining because it doesn't give you your 70-30 split. You're that desperate. That's how sad this whole situation is. But anyway, he went from, like, 1,100, 1,200. He went down 7, near 800 people, and it's going to keep going lower. and now he's going from 491 to around like 1.1K. He's down bad. But he's telling people to go give their gifted or go give their Prime subscriptions to other people because he doesn't want. That's so weird to me. Just because it doesn't fit his thing instead of being thankful for it. Normal-ad-3468. This was 11 days ago, and I have a more recent picture. But he says negative 35 followers is an improvement for iDubbbz, which is also insane to think about because, as you can see on the stats here, he streamed for 30 hours, which is about average, or maybe it's more than usual. He streamed 7 days, 7 out of 7 days, and only streamed 30 hours. Average 184 viewers, and followers an hour is negative 1.17. His peak viewers are at 270 as well, which is still only 2% of what H3 and them get, which is also insane to think about. And I looked at the H3 podcast on the afternoon of Tuesday, a Tuesday or a Monday, and they were still doing that good. Legitimate account 4 said, so he failed, right? After his, quote, subathon that lasted 5 hours and ended up with both of his cameras breaking, poor pathetic felted, and his other pathetic streams, he hasn't reached his goal of consistently getting 300 subs for 3 months. So I'm guessing a lot of those subs were gifted and stuff, and he needs 300 consistent? I don't exactly know. I know that I think most of his stuff, and that's interesting to think about too, is that he had thousands of subs, but he never hit anywhere near that viewer count. But to go on, he says, they are back at square one and have squandered their entire careers. You love to see it. And here's a more updated one. I think he was live at the time. He streamed now less hours. I think he did admit that he was going to go to 5 days of streaming. And he has a peak viewership of 304, which is a little more than usual, and also has 173 average viewers, which is like 10 less or 11 less exactly than before. He's also now losing more followers. And you also look back at the H3 Podcast YouTube channel where, of course, they go live, and you can see that he's averaging hundreds of thousands of views each stream. Near 400,000 each. So he gets 500,000 or near 500,000 most of the time as well, which is insane. And these are only 3 hour streams as well, which is even more impressive. So he's streaming less hours and still profits more than iDubbbz. I think he will stop streaming soon, or he'll just desperately stay on Twitch. Maybe try to go on Kick or something, like if he had to do a last-ditch effort. But I still really do think that it's going one way or the other. He's going to look really pathetic and sad on Twitch and keep streaming there, or he's going to stop streaming entirely. But if they can't even keep up with their own Patreon that people pay to look at and view, and they can't do weekly podcast episodes, then him Twitch streaming is probably seems way bigger of a commitment, and he can't even get that done. He can't even upload consistently. He can't upload twice in a month. And if he does, it's still bad. But anyway, let me know what you all think in the comments down below. Do you think he's going to stop streaming soon? And how bad do you think it will get before he stops streaming soon? H3 versus Ian and Anisa. Ethan and Ian go back and forth for a little. And here are clips of Ethan reacting to current stuff.
Do you know why he says that? Because Gabe finishes in his eyes.
No.
It's part of the femdom ritual. Yeah.
Gobi loves a woman in boots.
You said that.
That's sick, bro.
That's so funny.
That.
That's so funny.
Okay.
This dude is literally rubbing his last 2 brain cells together trying to spark a flame. But the light is gone.
The woman, I am Severus Snape.
We know.
Gobi loves a sexy snake. Gobi's in the femdom.
He goes, and then for no reason out of nowhere, Gobi's into femdom, which we've all suspected he's femdom when you sit in the chair and watch your wife get plowed by gorgeous Gabe.
I think so.
I guess that could be a part of fem.
I gotta clean you up.
Do you know why he says that? Because Gabe finishes in his eyes.
No.
It's part of the femdom ritual. When she's done getting railed,
no,
the bowl finishes in his eyes.
Shut up, dude.
I was with you on the costumes.
Play it again. It's obvious what he means.
I gotta clean you up.
Then
all sorts of critters in your eyes.
Yeah, and that's a really gross way to say it, isn't it, Tom?
And I remember someone walking by from on the other side of a curtain, and like a waft of something bad smelling wafted by.
No
and
way.
iDubbbz came on stage,
No
and I was
way.
like, "What was that?" I swear, I remember that. And I was like, "What is that?" And it was iDubbbz walking on stage.
Wow.
No. Hopefully this doesn't make it to him, and then now he hates me too. But
Oh yeah, expect a content cop David come up next.
yeah.
Well, actually,
Yeah,
if he makes the video on you, it'll actually boost your career quite a lot based off of the last few videos.
Yeah,
So.
that's true. Yeah.
He also posted on his Instagram stories a few times. First, I'm going to talk about a thing that Ian said. First, I'm going to show the clip, and then I'm going to give basically Ethan's reaction to it. So here's that.
You also been sued by that Zionist? I have not, thankfully, but I have a feeling that is because I am a man. Most likely. Needless to say, our employees are going to be eating
Actually,
well.
because we use the same lawyer, so he can't use that lawyer against us.
Not anymore. But it's also because I'm a man.
And then Ethan says, "Good point, Anisa. Yes, we do work with the same lawyer, as I was gracious enough to introduce you to him years ago when you needed help with your Creator Clash stuff. This is called a friend. And yes, is the same lawyer that Snark, the subreddit you browse daily, targets weekly to ruin his life. I find it fascinating that you are happy to use his expertise privately, but do your Snark friends know that you are using the same attorney that drafted all of the legal complaints that devastated your friends? They call him, quote, West Bank Rom because he visited his uncle once in the West Bank like 20 years ago. I'm sure you've seen this. So yes, we use the same attorney, a dear friend of mine that I will trust like a brother. And then there are you two leeches still sucking the blood of favors I did for you when we were friends. P.S. Dope. Why would I ever sue you for content cop? You can't see the difference between your video and Caseytron sitting quietly while taking 55 bong rips? Another symptom of CTE, I'm afraid. Say hi to gorgeous Gabe. Kissing lipstick emoji, blowing kiss heart emoji. It's kind of funny. I wonder what Ethan's like, or I wonder what Anisa's fan base, Ian and Anisa's new fan base, would think that they were using the same lawyer, and that same lawyer, like, it's kind of funny how it works because, you know, he's literally using the same lawyer that is taking down the friends that they are trying to defend. That seems like, isn't that kind of odd? You're going against your own lawyer, or you're supporting against your own lawyer. I don't know. And also, yeah, it's kind of insane that, like, Ethan really did help them out in more ways than we know. And I wonder what other extra small details we can get, because we now know that they use the same lawyer or an attorney because of Ethan. What else? You know, what else is there possibly? Because we know that it helps, like, promote Creator Clash, being on the podcast and stuff like that a few times. But there's, like, a whole back and forth that they had where, just to give context, Ian was given, like, food by Anisa, but it's on, he's eating, like, mashed peas or something like that out of a can, and he's also seen eating food off of cardboard like a time or two, right? And Ethan calls it out and makes a bunch of jokes about it, and one of them says, "How's life, bud?" showing like him eating straight out of a can. Next says, "Ian, do you need plates? I can help you, brother." And it shows that he's eating like a charcuterie board. That's not even a charcuterie. What is that? That looks terrible. That's not even a charcuterie board. Oh, man. But, yeah, you can see he's eating off of cardboard. And he says, "Bro is mad I have plates." Crying, laughing emoji. And then Ethan posts himself flexing one of his plates and showing that, like, you can get dinner plates for $3 somewhere. He posts another time saying, "Anisa serving her loved one on cardboard. Shallow, dumb, bad, cheap, lazy, wasteful. Me serving my loved one on beautiful artesian plate. Smart, loving, good, eco-friendly, supports independent arts." And I kind of find it funny. It's like just a banana. It's just like an old banana on a plate. That still looks more appetizing than... I don't even know, like, a funny... other than cardboard, I don't know what else to call that, like, charcuterie board mistake. But Ethan adds on saying, "Ian, just call into the show. Let's have a chat. You have zero audience or relevancy. What is your excuse?" And that's a good point. That is a very good point, because what really is their excuse for not showing up on the H3 podcast to debate or clash heads with Ethan Klein, it helps them get more viewers on Twitch, more money, more views towards their channel and stuff like that. And also, it just entertains the people. It keeps people like me fed. You know what I mean? And, like, what is their excuse? Like, legitimately, what is their excuse? I want to see this in the future, especially if they're talking about Anisa going a bunch of contractors or people that don't like them. Then why not do one against H3? I mean, even Hassan did a debate against H3, right? And I think this would be a huge talking point on the internet. This would give a lot of eyes and attention to Ian, and it would be less pathetic. But I think literally he's so pilled out and CTE'd that he might not be able to do it. He might actually sit there and freeze up, and then Anisa has to run in 30 seconds in and be like yapping about whatever. But Ian responded in a couple ways, and here's some of the clips.
He said the N-word on stream like 2 months ago. They took the episode down. I thought YouTube took the episode down because of that. I feel like that's confirmation. If YouTube's taking you down for that reason. It probably wasn't YouTube, though. I could see them doing it as well. You know who's unctuous? Pedo Troll. When I went on Troll's podcast, that's one of those things that I hate. When people go on podcasts and they just lather it on, it's uncomfortable. Because it ends up feeling so inauthentic because it is.
It's unpleasant when somebody is unctuous.
Feel free to ignore this, but I made a clip. Let me take a look. I mean, I have no reason to not watch this. Hell yeah. Alright. Dude, I have so many things in the background, it's hard. Alright, this is Troll giving like an epic take.
Piling in to see iDubbbz talk about politics again.
5 from up your show.
Hey guys. Hey Ian. You guys notice something interesting about this?
It's a good thumbnail.
Views, 4 hours. 4 hours. Our Dead Highlights channel.
What was it?
He has 20.
Hey dog, we're both going down together. That's something really to be proud of. What is that? I've been saying for so long that this guy's obsession with views, like it's not helpful for himself to be this obsessed with views. Like it's only gonna feel worse. Like you gotta get like fulfillment and purpose elsewhere. Like it is not. It's so bad, dude.
1,000 views in 4 hours on his main channel.
Oof. Give it time.
7 million. We used to be at 7 million. Listen, I'm not one to talk. I'm not one to point that out.
Dude, Ethan, the pedo troll cannot stop like going to the hate Reddits or wherever the f he's getting it from. He was posting me again on his story yesterday. Twice, apparently, while he was... or something. I don't know. That is so crazy to be like, all right, there's a break in the hate stream, in the harassment stream. I'm gonna go on the can and post. Dude, it's so cringe. Parentheses negative. Negative cringe. Keep our kids out of it, all right? Keep our kids out of it. It doesn't matter if they're theoretical or not. Dude, I was surprised. I was like, he was posting me doing the scrandle, the custom-made scrandle on cardboard. It's always what he gets upset about is like people not interpreting what he's doing as a joke, but it's so overt. I just put mushy peas on cardboard and uncooked marmalade. The marmalade bait. The fact that he's so excited about someone being poor and struggling, he's so gross. He does that with the girls he's suing too. Yes, it is. It's weird. And then he hallucinates anti-Semitism as well. It's not even fair to call it a hallucination. It's so much worse than that. Yeah, it's true. He doesn't have friends. He doesn't have connections online. He and moans about how no one will collaborate with him. Well, you can say it in the mic, because I don't want to have to, because they won't, well, they won't, I just need to, that's the problem, is I'll need to, like,
I just want to say, wait, I forget what I was saying. Oh, even when Ian was making a ton of money, like way more than he or I knew what to do with it, we were still doing and living the same way that we've always been living. It's just not who we are, anyways. So let us eat at Denny's and eat off of cardboard and sleep on the floor.
2005.
2005 Jeep up until
A few years ago.
a few years ago.
Yeah. She needs one of those preacher mics that you hook around the ear. I know. She could just go around the house. Oh, wireless gaming headset for Anisa. That way she could just go around the house. She could be doing her craft. And then we just hear her takes every now and again. Ethan literally scrolls through your snark sub all day. It's pathetic, dude. I love how he's also commented more on hallucinated anti-Semitism than actual overt anti-Semitism at this point. He is a professional victim. On one of his first podcasts, he had you as a guest, and he kept dropping the N-word, and you had to tell him to chill out. Yeah, it was... You know, he you can clearly tell that he likes doing this shock jock shit, and he was looking for an opportunity to, you know, be more edgy. So he took it. We bought it because I will eventually be a grandpa. Eventually. This is a really good plate.
It's anthropology.
It's anthropology.
Okay.
We're supporting local artists by buying it from anthropology.
The batching,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Twin cats, twin black cats. How often are you ever going to see a mug like this?
Never.
No, never.
Independent artist anthropology.
Uh-huh.
Bowl.
Yes.
So it holds lots of ramen. And my favorite.
Can we vulgar roast?
You
Yeah.
have that in your house?
Yeah, do you have a faded nobody knows I'm gay cup? I bet you don't.
I bet you don't.
I bet you don't.
Get owned. He's got a little spire. I love
Awesome.
Do we use these plates?
Troll probably fucking like treats all of the ceramic bowls and plates as like disposable. He probably throws them away when he's done using them.
Oh, that's good.
Wait, what's happening? Why are we looking at dishes? Drama I missed? I mean, not so much drama, but, you know, because Pedo Troll is obsessed with us and some other people on the internet, he decided to create a narrative that I'm plateless. That I'm plateless. I have no plate. Gold-plated tooth, though? True. That is a sign of poverty, is the gold-plated tooth.
It's so funny, though. They literally bought plates and cups and showed them on stream, and of course they had to be political. Of course they had to be political things, but I just thought it was funny that, like, they got rattled so bad by Ethan that they went out and bought plates and cups, dude. That's hilarious. Ethan responds saying, "Look how the monkeys dance for me," blushing emoji. And I also, like, they also literally danced for him in another clip, I think. I don't know exactly what the context was this for. There's so much, the background music is too much, but yeah, they literally danced with each other, I guess to prove Ethan wrong or just to get clips or whatever. I don't know, it's just a cringe thing. He also, I'm pretty sure Ian in one of these clips accused Ethan falsely of saying the N-word for whatever reason recently. But yeah, overall, it's just kind of cringe. Like, Ian's just fails. He fails at literally everything. Prove them more right by buying plates. And they need to beef more, man. I think Ethan and Ian and Anisa need to beef more because these are the more fun dramas and stuff. This is the more fun back and forth than seeing, all these other things. Like, I don't like watching, his song clips all the day. I don't like watching Ian just sit there and be stupid. I want to see something else. I want to see H3 and Ian go back and forth again. Do a whole debate, bro. I'm trying to see something fun and interesting. All this other stuff is exhausting. Ian and Anisa are broke. For context, if you don't know who Kaylor Hammer is, he's the host of a show called Financial Audit, a show where he goes over people's finances that are in bad spots. He talks to them, shows them mistakes that they made, gives them hard criticisms, but also I think covers travel expenses to get to him for the advice, and gives them huge ranges of sources from long-term contact with him and his team to experts on resumes and financial plans, and some other resources as well, like one where you can get education online for cheaper and help you get paid more, and other services like that. They're giving them go to this phone service, or go here and there. He's a very smart guy when it comes to this, and he's very experienced as he's been doing the Financial Audit show for a long time now. He really helps these people out, or tries to at least. And he even has a little update channel, or I don't think he does on the main anymore. I think he has a whole other channel for it. But he does updates to his financial audit people where he shows the successors and the failures and stuff like that. And he seems to be a knowledgeable person on the topic. And even if he doesn't have full knowledge, he doesn't exactly act like it in a lot of cases. But you don't need you need probably some experience and some knowledge of it, and he has enough to be this type of person, and he also has experts, actual experts on the scene as well to help these people out. And a lot of the people nowadays that go on the show are fans of his that need help or request it, and they go through all the legal paperwork and stuff like that, so they completely agree and know what to expect when they go on there. But recently he was talking about the entire Ethan Klein lawsuits against, Frogan, Casey Tron, and Denims, and he brought up iDubbbz and Anisa and how they are broke, and how he was automatically banned on Twitch for no reason at all, and how he got blocked by iDubbbz on his Twitch stream after following him, and the next day showing that he was banned for no reason at all, just like a lot of others have been.
Desert Nomad in chat said they moved in with Anisa's parents.
Whoa.
I don't know if that's true or not, but allegedly.
Ooh.
They probably more than any other creator need a financial audit. And I'll be nice to you. Come on, I'll be nice. Listen, we let the guests set what they're okay to talk about and what they're not okay to talk about, and we respect it 100%. So
Absolutely.
Come on, you set the boundaries and we'll respect it. I follow a lot of people. So, but either way, we know for a fact he is broke because my realtor, who I'm not going to out, is, he's interested in some of the drama things, and we knew that they were trying to sell their house. In the Seattle area, and they put a lot of money into renovating the house we saw, and they listed it for only slightly above what they bought it for a few years back. And they had to keep dropping it by 50,000, 50,000, 50,000. Eventually, before it was taken off the market, I don't know if it was sold, but it was at least taken off the market. I think it was at least 100,000 below what they bought it for after putting hundreds of thousands into a renovation.
Yikes.
They're broke. They are broke, and I don't know how they're bringing in income right now because they don't get views.
Well,
They don't
there's
get
always
views.
there's always an open seat in this office for Mr. iDubbbz if he wants to come in.
Yeah, come in. I'm not gonna be hostile towards you. Come in. I know you're far left, and I don't really like extremism on either side. That's just really not me. But yeah, come in. Let's talk. I think his wife does OF, so maybe that's how they bring in some money. Never said anything bad about iDubbbz. I probably never will, because who gives? I was a big fan at one point, and my friend Graham Stephan has met him quite a few times. Literally, I followed him on Twitch a month or two ago. Followed him on Twitch. That was it. I wasn't even streaming anymore at that point, because it was a month after I was done streaming. I just followed him on Twitch because I just wanted to just track his views, because it's very interesting to see how little views he gets. I went the next day because it said he went live. I was blocked. I was banned and blocked. I never commented. I've never said a word about him. I've never done anything involving him.
Which is absolutely insane.
Like I said in a segment earlier, they've been banning people from their chat for no reason that don't say anything, and also ban people from their Patreon, where you literally have to give money to see it, which is insane to me. And they can't even break the law and stuff like that. They can't show the videos and stuff. I don't know why they specifically ban people from Patreon. Dude, if you're a hater and you're going to pay for my service, go ahead. But I mean, they can't re-upload any of the content anywhere. That's illegal. You're going to get in a huge legal trouble for that if you do, right? So, you know, because that's an open and shut case. But people have recently looked up Ian's house, or their old house in Washington, and how they sold it. And thanks to Snake A. Sauer saying their Seattle house probably financially ruined them. And Caleb Hammer talked about this as well, but if you look on in April of 2019, they were pending the sale, and I think they bought the house in 2019 for $675,000. Then they listed it for sale in 2022, March of 2022, for basically $900,000. And then 5 days later, they have a pending sale for $900,000. And then, like 3 weeks later, they sold it. But this person adds on saying, every piece of real estate tells a story without speaking a word. This price history says that someone made $350K in 3 years by selling their crack shack to an overly eager buyer willing to overpay. Keep in mind, the $1.05 million they dropped on this house is before they dropped multiple six figures into renovations, which Caleb Hammer talked about. And they're likely in this house for $1.2 to $1.3 million. And if you know anything about real estate, you can take a look at sold comparables and see that this house isn't even worth $900,000, and it was formerly listed for, hence the failed sale in March of 2022. So I don't know if this is saying that it actually got sold or not, now that like this person is saying, but now Ian and Anisa are stuck holding the bag because they probably don't want to swallow the approximate $500,000 loss that they'd be taking by selling this house for what it's worth. If only they would have been patient and not overpaid. We all know why that likely happened. You know, of course, blaming Anisa. I don't know for sure if they are still living with Anisa's parents or not, but there was that rumor because they were living in, like, basically an empty basement. They sold the house and they were stuck, and, like, their podcast was stuck on the floor of an empty basement, which a lot of people criticized. I don't think it was, like, artistic in any way. I don't think it was, like, they could have had fun with it, but they didn't. And the thing is, too, is that I would assume that, like, Ian and Anisa would have a lot of savings. At least Ian, because he actually, like, worked and had a good time on YouTube at one point. He was on top of the internet, and I don't know how they would be broke, really. I expect that, like, I heard that YouTube back in the day used to pay a lot anyway. Or maybe it pays more now, I'm not sure. But you can make good money back then, too, and, you know, do more, like, risky content like he did, like, edgier stuff and everything. So I don't know how exactly they would be broke and don't have a lot of money, even with buying this house. He uploads every other or every 2 months, and it seems like the videos aren't good nor doing well. Also, if he was broke or close to it, he shouldn't have been doing Creator Clash and all this other stuff. Like I said earlier, focus on yourself before focusing on charities. I don't think that's a bad thing to say. You gotta help yourself before you become the person that needs the charity money. I also wonder how long they'll be living with their parents if they haven't already moved out. If someone could, like, pinpoint that and let me know, because some people, like, know how to find this information or know about this information. So if you all could let me know in the comments down below if they're still living with them and how long they have been and how long they plan to, I'd really appreciate that. But another thing too is that Ian, in one of his more recent videos, probably the most recent video other than the one I just shown, like, claimed that they were in another country for a little bit, and that's why their setup was all weird. So it just doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, what is going on here? Like, do they have money? Do they don't? Why are they living with their parents? It's just a whole lot of weird stuff going on that doesn't make much sense at all. But with Ian streaming, it is easier to get a response about stuff, so maybe one day he will get a response about the Shadman support, because, you know, he wants to call H3 Troll whenever you were a pedo supporter. Especially with all the context that Ethan gave to that time of the internet. It's like getting onto iDubbbz for saying the N-word back then. It doesn't matter, and who cares? Like, that's just how the internet was. You got away with it back then. And even nowadays, you can still get away with it. But it's just so weird to me that, like, Ian earlier was like, yeah, pedo troll needs to shut up, or whatever he was saying. But, dude, you literally supported Shadman earlier than the troll account on Reddit that Ethan made. That is inactive and has been inactive for years. You've probably made jokes about liking kids before. You literally tore a Quran in half. Like, you have no room to talk, so stop. Community questions, comments, and concerns. If you've watched this series or others that I've made before, you know that I like to add comments from the community about current situations, whether it's questions, rumors, possibilities, theories, and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and get into them. Maureen_Jahoma says, we are more popular than the other sub, and it shows the r/iDubbbz sub having 4.9k visitors and 20 contributions per week, and the I Miss the Old iDubbbz Reddit having 61.9k visitors and 2.9k contributors per week, which is absolutely insane. I'm guessing that the r/iDubbbz Reddit is like moderated for like the orbiters and such. OK-Traffic-5996 says, do you think Ian and Anisa are liars or delusional? He adds on saying, I guess this is just trying to mind read people, but do you think Ian and Anisa actually believe their own crap, or do they know they are liars? Ian's willingly leaving out things from the content cop to try to make me think that he's just another narcissist. But the way he calls himself the White Hassan and talks like he still has an audience makes me think that he's just disconnected from reality. And people said that they are a mix of both, and I think that's true. They're a mix of lying and delusional. We've seen so much proof of them being both. I don't think like it's impossible to say that they are both. Ian Anon6 says, how many exes y'all think Anisa has? You guys remember when she said she's dated people with more money than Prime iDubbbz? They met when she was like 23, and she somehow still seems to have a never-ending Rolodex of exes. Am I the only one who finds that weird? How is this possible? Wife material? Thinking emoji, thinking emoji, thinking emoji. Food for thought. And I guess that's a good point. I know that her and Chris Raygun, who I've made a video on in the past, by the way, go check that out, also, you know, we're kind of a thing for a moment in time. I think that's the only other creator she really messed with, though. I wonder, like, who were you messing with that had more money than Prime iDubbbz? Where were you getting Hassan? I don't know, bro. It can't be, because Hassan was poor back then, you know, whatever. But I'm very curious of how many exes she had and like everything. Name drop. I want to try to see something. The only reason we know about Chris Raygun is because it was more public online. Glorp_ says, quote, they're just engagement farming. They're playing us all. They know what they are doing. No, they don't, LMAO. Let me be clear with you right now. Back in the heyday, Ian was making tens of thousands of dollars per video, and they were neither very long nor highly edited. That's like, yeah, they weren't like exactly highly edited, but they were better edited than what the videos are now. Each of these videos likely took only a few hours to make. He was making 6 figures or more with just a few hours of work per week, maybe per month. Even the I think he says noob, I don't exactly know, videos easily got 200 to 500,000 views each. Not incredible, but they still earned him a ton of money for what was realistically very little work. If he just kept up the grind and put up a video once a month, they could live easily in an upper middle class lifestyle while essentially being unemployed. But no, Ian decided to be a streamer, so now he streams with almost 40 hours per week for at best a few $1,000s a month, which I don't even think is the case anymore. He traded a career where he was making millions doing nothing for one where he earns below average income while working full time. This was literally the dumbest decision he could have made. Any engagement farming or rage baiting means nothing when they actually messed up their lives for real. Oh no, he went from being a millionaire to earning less than me. But he did it as rage bait. What an amazing troll. Which is a good point. If they were doing it for rage bait or whatever and thought they were clever, supposedly they're broke. They can't beat that allegation at all. And it's just, in the end, like, they just are overall failures on the YouTube scene and everything, which is kind of interesting to think about. And yeah, like, they could try to say it's an amazing troll and they're doing all this great stuff, but they really aren't. They're just known for being failures now, and they completely ruin their reputation. I just don't think rage baiting is worth it whenever you've just failed, right? I don't know. Next is by Downward Fractal saying, when did y'all give up? I want to say I stopped watching iDubbbz at some point between Getting Away With It and CC1, but I didn't hate the guy or anything. I just found him less entertaining than I once did. I didn't come truly delusioned with him until his behavior during Creator Clash 2, as well as the terrible apology video, and even then I was still willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. All of that went out the window when he stabbed Ethan in the back and tried to cozy up to Hassan. Indefensible. Pessimistic_something says, I gave up after his Ethan wake up scene, probably like a lot of others. Yeah, he got boring before then, but I didn't care to take the effort to unsub as I barely paid attention. That's another thing too, is that people don't unsubscribe from him whenever they definitely need to, because they're, I don't know why, it's weird to me, but But the callousness he showed to what everyone except Ian considered his friend was disgusting. I'm not going to get into much besides Ian could have been the gap filler and built a friendly bridge between both sides, which is true. He could have been like the middleman, but he just completely went to one end. It would have helped Ethan and got the other side to calm down. Imagine if he did that, but instead they just went fully on one side, seemingly out of nowhere. Plus the fake niceness in the end was just nasty, lol, which is true. Yeah, the fake niceness is very disgusting. And if you want me to be honest, let's go. I'm going to show you exactly where, because I started not liking him during the Save the Squirrels initiative on his second channel. I thought that was boring. I thought that sucked. Golly, dude, it's been 5 years of this. The iDubbbz Complain series was also another start of, like, the terrible fall. Abusive Robot Stepdad was probably one of the last good videos. And if you want to kind of maybe get a little closer, he did one more bad unboxing, but it wasn't that great. I know he's done one recently that still isn't really good, but once he started the iDubbbz Complain series, yeah, but you can look through all of this. Like, all of it wasn't really good. I know that he made, like, Full Force sometime. Like, he made Abusive Robot Stepdad, the last actual funny video. But even before that, he was not doing that great. He did the iDubbbz Complain series. Golly, the fall started, like, 6 years ago in 2019. So I would say probably 6 years ago, whenever he started the iDubbbz Complain series and the Save the Squirrels initiative, which was even before that time. So it might be like 7 years ago. 7 years ago. There, you got it. I said it. But yeah, 6 to 7 years ago, back in 2018 or 2019 is whenever his fall truly started. I wish I saw this post a little sooner, but that's whenever I first saw that, like, oh, he's not really funny or entertaining anymore. And he kept uploading iDubbbz Complaints videos and the less and less entertaining videos. And I was like, okay, well, this is kind of boring. And then, like, I think, I don't know when I officially gave up on him. Probably whenever I started making the videos on him, maybe a little bit before that. But I gave up on him a long time ago and started not liking him even longer ago. But let me know what you all think. Like, when do you think his videos started getting bad, and when did you all officially give up on him? Because, but yeah, that last content copy made, although it got a lot of views, it also basically killed his career. Next is by Artistic-Potato-59 saying, when was the last time iDubbbz was, quote, normal? Obviously, he's always been a weird guy, but it seems like at some point a switch flipped and he completely changed as a person, becoming the most boring and dry human being of all time. I mean, this guy was witty and legit talented. What happened? And like I said, I think it was started back in 2018 to 2019, whenever he started being less and less normal whenever he did the iDubbbz Complain series. Next is by Dread King 65-6 saying, anybody have any ideas of what iDubbbz will do or say to spark any drama to stay relevant? Solo_live says it's coming. Dude is having to put back tea he likes that costs $13 and having to return heated socks that he found out later cost $80. I have a feeling real jobs are coming soon for the both of them unless he can keep the beef with H3 going, which is very true, which I don't know if I have the clips of it. I don't know if I've shown the clips here, but yes, those are all true. He had to put back tea and was complaining about prices of certain stuff. And don't get me wrong, stuff is overly expensive nowadays, but you think of iDubbbz, you think, oh, you should be decently well off. You succeeded a lot in your time. And also, I think it's just a lot of misuse of money. Like, if I got the amount of views he got in a month off of one of his videos that he uploads every other month, I would be living just fine. But he just isn't because of poor financial decisions. Bumblebee_hater, real, I don't like bees either, but he says, on his video about concern trolling, he was clearly trying to bait online media pundits to beef with him. His subreddit says they want a Destiny content cop, so probably that. Okay, so I need someone to kind of clear this up. Is Destiny a bad guy or not? Because I saw that he supposedly had CSAM during that Willie Mack show thing, like where he admitted to having CSAM. So is he a bad dude or not? Because I haven't watched that video, but I saw where like he basically admitted it, but he's still online and still posted on by like Oct20,000 or whatever his name is, Yee on Twitter. So I'm very confused if like, is he a good guy or is he a bad guy? I don't care about his opinions. Like I kind of want to know his opinions, but what is going on? I truly don't know what's next for him anyway. I could see him trying to make another video on, like, he'll make, like, a very bad video on, like, Asmongold and XQC and such. I think that's what I would expect. But next is by Blucifer saying, what keeps you guys tuned in? First, Ian and lolcow being synonymous is now just crazy to me, LMAO, but typically whenever I'm peeping what a lolcow is up to, I get some kind of entertainment out of it. World of T-shirts, Joshua Block is a terrible person too, but one I've kept up for a while, and when I visit that subreddit, I get something out of it. It might be barely what you'd consider a laugh, but it's something. This guy, though, I just shake my head at every post I see here. He absolutely got what was coming to him, but the degree of genuinely solemn, man, this is pathetic, I feel every time I see him, is something I hadn't encountered before with a lolcow. Sure, they're all pathetic to some extent, but something keeps people watching, usually. I don't know what that something is with Ian. What is it for you guys? Ghostly Grifter says, oh goodness, nothing. I'm here for the funny updates, so I don't have to watch that snooze fest. Mad Dog 1981 says, he's too boring and honestly visually disgusting for me to watch unless it's a clip or some other show reacting. And that's true. He is very boring, and you kind of need videos like mine and just clippers in general to make his stuff interesting, because there's maybe there's not many clips that come out from his streams, to be honest. So he streams for 40 hours a week maybe, which is like a full-time job, and like they said before, he's wasting his time doing that, but he streams 40 hours a week and maybe has a few minutes of clips from each week come out. Absolutely sad. Like, I don't think he hits 10 minutes of clips a week. Zero Sipper says, nothing. I just don't like backstabbers. I don't even like Ethan Klein either, but he was literally the only one who stood by this loser when the entire internet was calling him a person for having a girlfriend. Then he goes and makes a content cop to poop on his best friend. Who does that? Not even the worst scumbag would backstab his closest friends like that. Watching him lose everything is kind of satisfying. It's like karma in action, which is very true. And what keeps me tuned in? I just like internet drama. I like to see this fall, and I also like to report on it. That's why I make these videos. I have this whole series of updating you all basically monthly or so about, what he's doing, what all he has done, what all he's gotten up to. It's just entertaining to watch him, make these very bad videos and such. That's why I do it. But yeah, overall, if I didn't care about internet dramas or whatever, I would have stopped watching him. Honestly, if I didn't already like going into internet dramas and everything, I would have no point of watching them. I would have unsubscribed and never thought of them again. Next is by Sufficient_Fix9266 says, Cold One's meme art auction raised more for kids with cancer than Creator Clash 2 and 3 combined. Incredible. Max and Chad's charity meme art auction for kids with cancer is already on track to raise more money than Creator Clash 2 or 3. They supported physical artists, opened a real gallery, and people actually get something in return, which honestly I prefer over the quote just donate on stream approach, which Ian seems to favor these days. And this was 24 days ago, probably about a month since this video came out. Can someone let me know if they actually did outdo it? I could definitely see that, and I think that's cool. I don't really watch Cold Ones often anymore. I don't know about you all, but is Cold Ones just kind of corny at times? They just get really annoying because their joke is overusing a joke, and then they overuse the joke too much, and then it just becomes unfunny. I'm just like, ugh, stop. But I do watch some of their videos every once in a while. I do think they're interesting. I do like to see these older YouTubers, these OGs, still succeed. But let me know if they actually surpassed, what Ian did, which I think would be funny because, you get banned for talking about Max Mofo in the comments. Next is by Mad87645 saying, peep the watch history, and it says, my girlfriend doesn't shower, am I the butthole? And this was from 8 months ago, but he's recently viewed it because you can see he's watched the full video, which I think is funny. I think it's very interesting. I wonder if his girl don't shower, does Anisa stink? Or, is there other issues going on in the relationship? Maybe that's why he keeps cropping out everything in the terrible manner that he does, because he literally does that all the time. He moves the screen, the display of his monitor all the time on stream, which I talked about earlier. And the last one is a meme by Lucky Conroy saying iDubbbz is therapist, and it shows the yes man from Fallout New Vegas, which might be true, and people suspect that they lie about going to therapy, and I think that's possible, but I wonder if they do go to therapy or not. I think that with how they act, there's no way. End. Thank you all for watching. I feel like this is going to be a long one as there was so much to go over. It's only been a month or maybe month and a half since my last update, and it's just so much has happened within the past month to go over. I think mainly because he made a video, and then of course Hassan got arrested or like confronted by police and stuff. And of course the H3 lawsuit, which is a huge update. I like making these long videos though, but sometimes they're a bit rough to edit on and work on because of all the time it takes. But, you know, I like doing them. And now I'm going to step in here really quick and say that there is like basically a whole second part to this episode because a lot of the key parts are missing, such as the usual Hassan segment, H3 lawsuit update, and everything like that. And that will all be in a no whole video of its own because, to be honest, I don't have enough time to edit all this right now. I want to try to stay consistent. It's already been about a week since the last time I uploaded, and I feel really bad for that. This video took a bit of time to make. And, yeah, I'm a whole one-man army, by the way. I'm having to do all this research and editing and everything myself. So I'm sorry if the videos aren't that good. I also got a lot going on in general that's been affecting me and stuff like that. So, yeah, some of the stuff just isn't... I just hope that I can do the next video justice, to be honest. Because after this Hassan... It's going to be mainly on H3, but there's also going to be the Hassan segment in there too. I hope I can do the next video justice after that because it's a video I've wanted to make for a long time. I'm hoping as well maybe quickly being able to cook up this next video and then be able to go on to the one after that and hopefully do it justice because I've wanted to make it for so long. I'm hoping I'll be able to do that, so look out for that. And if you've watched this far, thank you so much because watching this far, as Nogla said, helps out the most, and continue to do that, please. Whether you got to come back or whatever, whether you want to skip certain time segments or whatever, just try to watch as much as possible, I guess. I wonder what next videos Ian is going to put up. I'll be sure to make sure to cover them and debunk them as well. Maybe he will be done streaming by the next video because he didn't hit his goal. We'll see. I think his, like, you know, sub count is still dropping. I wonder, like, what, he has, like, 300 raw viewers, like, 300, maybe less, like, raw subs, because if he averages, like, 173 to 300 or whatever it is, then he must have, like, maybe 60 real subs, I would guess. I don't exactly know. We'll see, but we'll see in the future. But make sure to like and subscribe as I make videos on internet dramas, locales, and more. Check out the other playlists, or if you haven't seen the full playlist or series on iDubbbz, go check it out, and the others as well. If you're depressed, if you need something to watch or to distract yourself, maybe you're at work and you need something to listen to in the background, then I'm your guy, of course. And if you're eating dinner, I hope dinner was good, bro. I really do. But follow my Twitter, is linked in the description below. I've been putting my input on topics there that I don't cover here and probably won't. There's like some weird stuff going on in the commentary community that I've made a couple of comments on that I don't think I'll make a video itself over unless I find like what all this guy has done. Make sure to also use YouTube's mobile-only hype feature on this video as well. Thank you for viewing the video all the way through, as it really helps. That actually helps out so much, you have no idea. Like, I think viewing the video completely helps more than liking and commenting and hyping the video. And in the end, I'm PERK30, and keep God close.